What up, people? Today we got that podcast, man. Today we've got me.
It's that time, yo.
It's that time, yo. We got Uzumaki Khan. You know you've been waiting for this guy to be on. I know you guys have been asking. Andrew's not here right now. He will be on. He's got the link to the group, and he'll join. What up, man? All the chats going nuts. So what I'll do is I'll take your guys' suggestion towards the end. I just want to have a comfortable chat with Uzumaki about gaming, anime, all that stuff. Thank you guys for joining us, and it's all good, man. We share so many things. I wanted to make it happen for a long time. Khan was busy, I was busy, but we're making it happen now, bro. So let's talk about start off with your copyright strikes and this move towards the timer and stuff, bro. I know it's a hard decision for you, bro. To go timer. I know you've been saying you want to watch your shit back.
Makenshi, the worst thing is this, man. Before Emma told me to do a timer business. Now I look back and think, why did I not start it? At least that way, a lot of my videos will still be on my channel. You know what I mean? That's the worst thing.
Yeah.
But I never knew that I was eventually gonna do it.
Yeah, but you know what? While I agree that I was always that person that thought, you really should do timer early on. Whenever I've done timer, which was times when I had 2 strikes, I think it's painful. I'm not gonna lie. I feel what you're feeling, that it is painful to use timer, because not only does the audience drop out, but people are always demanding that you use footage.
That's the thing, my people moan too much.
Yeah, they moan too much, and that's what I want to get onto with this situation. Where do you think you got your Nakama here? They understand. Yeah,
Makenshi, if they can understand that, hold on, if I continue doing the live action the way I do, I won't be on YouTube anymore. They need to think of it from that perspective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they don't look at it they want you to live react the way you're doing continually, so they're happy, but eventually you will be terminated. And that's a stupid thing, yo.
Yeah, this is the instant gratification culture where they want to consume your content. They want to consume your content, but they don't care about what happens behind the scenes to make it happen. And then you get this thing that they feel they're entitled to the reaction. You got to bring it out, and then they kind of like crucify you, and when you're not able to do things the way you're doing them, and then they make these suggestions. But you know better than anyone what's possible, what isn't possible, and you know that if you
for 4 years, man, I know that I know I was kind of stubborn in order not to have just the timer, but is what it is, man. Now let's just see how the people respond. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people can be upset, but like I said in my video, obviously which you guys will eventually see, is that I was hopeless, yo. You know what I mean?
What I want to say is a hypothetical question. You don't go into the YouTube comments now because it's full of spoilers. Mainly primarily because of spoilers. But let's just assume spoilers didn't exist at all. There was no chance of spoilers. But then you still get these hateful comments that you get, people complaining, that kind of thing. Do you think it's something you'd be able to handle, or do you think it's just so over the top now that would just be difficult?
You know what, Makenshi? My main focus is this, man. As long as there's no spoilers in the comments, I'll be happy. And people moan and hate, people just blocking. You know what I mean? But I really wouldn't mind, man. The worst thing is spoilers after all. You know what I mean? That's the thing right now, which is preventing me from looking in the comments.
Yeah,
hate is
exactly.
Every YouTuber gets in Makenshi, you know it, yo. Like someone,
definitely.
You put up someone called a Nazi or something.
Yeah, call me a Nazi. You saw that, yeah? They call me a Nazi. You know what it is? Bro, when we had this conversation, you were the reason I started Hunter x Hunter. You said, bro, if you start Hunter x Hunter, you won't hate it. I loved Hunter x Hunter. And because when it was Netero versus Meruem, yeah, I was on the side of Netero because I like that guy. And he's really powerful, he's the human side. And Meruem was the villain. I know you feel sorry for him, but they call me a Nazi because I wasn't Remember him? I'm like, what's this, man? I'm a Nazi all of a sudden, man.
You know what? That's the last thing I'd expect someone to call me if I'm fucking doing a reaction.
Yeah.
Man,
actually,
over the top, yo.
Yeah, and actually, I want to bring up outrage culture on the internet, and we were talking about Cammy. Cammy's new outfit. Someone modded Cammy's outfit. Yeah, let's bring that up because I actually want to get into this now. I've been watching anime, when fan service comes on, when these Japanese games and stuff come on, and there's excessively big breasts and butts sticking out and underdressed, and we put up with it sometimes. We've seen animes between us. I was watching.
To a limit, it's okay. You know what I mean? To a limit, it's okay.
Yeah. And you can bear with it and grin and bear it. But what I want to bring up is Japan's obsession with with this thing where, you know, even Tales of Berseria came out where some of the characters are very underdressed. Cammy's underdressed. I was playing Nier, Yakuza 0. There's all these weird sort of things where someone comes into the room, and I'm sure if your wife and your kids came into the room, or it would be so embarrassing to watch. Why do you think? What is it like? What is it about Japan? You think, man? Like, do you like it? Of course, we don't like it, man. Like,
it's like, you know, it's a selling point. It's like Dead or Alive where Andrew said it. He goes, the reason, I don't even want to mention it, but you seen in the Facebook group that, did you see that comment?
Sorry, which comment?
What Andrew said about Dead or Alive, the producer of the game, that he made the game.
Exactly. I say, and Dead or Alive is the biggest fan service beach volleyball Dead or Alive.
I mean, like, basically, 95% of the characters are women, and half of them are naked, yo.
Exactly. And what do you think it is, bro? Because I think in the West it's a lot different. Like in Japan, they have all this fan service in all their games, mostly the animes. But in the West, we're like kind of on the other side where you're called a sexist if you make.
We were talking.
Yeah, exactly. And it's changed a lot in the West as well. And some people like to say it's not as bad in Japan, not as bad. It's pretty bad. Like most of the games we played lately. And you see that stuff,
I'm not gonna lie, man. You know, most of my entertainment comes from Japan. The love of RPGs, the love of anime gaming consoles. But one cannot deny the fact that they go OTT over the top with these issues, man. I mean, like even in 2M, man, a lot of people are complaining about Street Fighter 5. Remember, I told you about the clothing of women. People go that buy DLC outfits if it's not stripper outfits, man.
Exactly, man. You know, I've always wondered why it's like that. And, you know, it's not something I can defend. But people, like, you know, when I bring it up sometimes, it's like some people say it's a part of anime. You know, you're always going to get, you know, the objectifying women and that sort of thing. But then when you kind of try and defend games like The Last of Us or like games like Horizon, which show women, but not in a sexual way, you know, you get that kind of situation. So is it awkward for you? Like, have you seen something that you reacted to the way
you know what, Makenshi, I'm not even gonna lie, man. You know, to me, it's really awkward, especially like, you know, obviously, I'm not trying to bring religion up or anything, but you know how it goes, man. It's like when it's like
it's really.
It's awkward, man. I'm not gonna lie and say like it's like with Fairy Tail, man. I'm watching Fairy Tail, you get me? I'm like 20 episodes in, man. I'm enjoying it. I think it's okay, you get me? And so many people are telling me fan service, and to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, it did put me off of watching it. But a lot of people said it's good that you stopped because Fairy Tail is just only fan service and it's good shit.
Yeah, you know, the problem is that I have with people is that people think just because you live react to anime that there's a certain respect that you have to have. So like I would say that, look, I'm Muslim, I come from a semi-conservative background. So just because we put up with it, just because we watch it, and we're able to put up with it in a good anime. So obviously for me, I watched Gurren Lagann recently. That has some fan service. I know from experience that One Piece has some fan service throughout, but it's a good anime, so you watch it, you put up with it. So just because we put up with it doesn't mean we agree with it, or doesn't mean we think it's not goofy or idiotic.
It's true, you know, real person, you know what I mean? Just live reaction, it sticks to his guns, you know what I mean? You don't change how you are in real life over a live reaction. I mean, if something's dodgy in a live reaction, man, it's gonna be dodgy to you in real life, you get me? It's like
exactly, man.
Like, you know, I know he calls himself God and whatnot. I remember someone just telling me that, you know, why are you afraid to say the word God when he appears on screen? I'm not afraid to say it, but I just don't like using anime terms and characters, gaming characters as God. It's just kind of ridiculous, man. Obviously, people.
Exactly. I mean, you have to bring a little bit of yourself to it. Like, you know, some people will hold it against you. Like, you know, when you react to an anime, you got to bring your own beliefs to it, and you're going to make that comment about things, about whether it be stuff to do with sexuality, religion, what our thoughts are, all that kind of thing. And you know, it's very hard to maintain your views while watching something that's so popular, and some people like to disconnect it from their feelings.
That reminds me, because have you seen a video where like someone edited it and it said like Uzumaki Khan God or some bullshit like that? Have you seen it? Someone made on YouTube?
What was it edited? What were they trying to say in the video?
It's called Uzumaki God reaction or something. And I
the Ippo ones. Uzumaki Khan is an anime god reaction. He told that guy, please change.
And I commented on this saying, bro, listen, you can have the video up. I don't mind. Just remove the word God. And I remember someone telling me, oh man, you're not showing them respect. They added the word God out of the spam. I'm like, You don't have to respect me by calling man a god, yo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I understand, like you don't want to that culture being brought up on you, like people calling you God and kind of thing. That brings me about the worship.
It's even about the culture. It's like, you know, some people, they don't want to be looked at as too good, like the best reactioner or the best this. I don't like shit like that, man. I like people saying like, that's why I always say that, you know, someone doesn't like the live action, what someone else? There's no problem in it. You know what I mean? I don't like when people try labeling someone too high, man. It's not a nice feeling. I know a lot of people like that shit, because they sound good. I don't like that, man. I like people chillax. You know,
bro, I want to ask you, about talking about like that video. You know, I was looking at my account as an anime god. Like, you know, your following is huge. People come out and support your live reactions a lot and stuff. Do you ever get the sense when you wake up in the morning that you've got such a big following? There are people that will literally not eat, not sleep. They will be waiting for your reaction. Does it ever sink into you, bro? Like
it does, you know,
like that.
It does, man. It's like when when I always, you know, every now and then I do get that thought that maybe I should stop. You know, live reaction, too much strikes and that. But when I see a lot of comments in the Facebook group, Makenshi, man, that, you know, they give such nice comments, man. It's like King Recon, man. When I got spoiled for One Piece, and when King Recon gave me that message, man, that hit the soul, yo. It missed the heart, it hit the soul. And I'm like, God, man, it's true, man. I feel bad that, you know, I could let people down. And obviously, it's always good to have a fan base. You know what I mean? It gives you motivation to continue. I'm not gonna lie, it does work.
Yeah.
It's
I think what happens is
it's like Code Geass. Remember when the ending got spoiled for me? And I made a video.
I remember.
I made a video saying I'm not gonna react to it, and someone messaged me about his sister asking him to tell me, and that hit me, yo. So I did it. Before the video started, I said I know what's gonna happen. So don't expect a genuine reaction. You know what I mean? It's what it is, man.
Yeah, I feel as though the more people love you, at the same time, the more they hate you as well. Because when you've got such a huge fan base, at the same time, there's always the dark side of it, the light side and the dark side of things, where you get that much outpouring of hate. Yeah, and people put you on a pedestal and think that you're supposed to be this guy that is indestructible, doesn't have a life. It has to completely be a slave to the reactions. And if you don't do this, you're an idiot and that kind of thing.
But that, Makenshi, that's why, you know, I think not looking in the comments is a blessing in disguise, yo. But you know, people in my Facebook group, they're people that, you know, if I say I can't upload, they will say family comes first, man. Your daughter's ill, take care of her. This is what food life is all about. You know, if I look in the comments, God knows what he must say in there, man. He must say, "Can't, man, where you at, man?" This and that. And that's why I think to myself, if I'm not in the comments, it's a blessing, man. Because if who knows, if I did look in there all this time, man, I maybe would have stopped a bloody few months ago from reacting.
Yeah, do you know, like, it's empathy thing. I think there's some people that take you at your word. Like when you say, "Look, man, my daughter's going through this," or "I'm going through this. I haven't got time. I haven't got this, that." There's some people that will legit care for you as a live reactor rather than you creating this product for them to consume, and they understand how it is. Now, the issue is, like, your fan base, they kind of vary from age range. There are people with obviously a lot of responsibilities, older people in education, that kind of thing. But then there's the younger group of people that don't have the responsibilities, you know, don't have to live by themselves, pay bills for their own home, don't have to work.
Them are the ones that don't respect. Yeah, them are the ones that don't respect. Them are the ones that if you click the finger, a reaction's up.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's this problem that people don't understand. No matter how much you explain it to them, they don't understand the fact that how much you try to juggle between gaming, between looking after your family, and then getting live reactions out. Also, I want to bring up the fact that, you know, since you started One Piece and stuff, it's been a big party channel. It's been almost like there's been two pillars. First, it was Naruto as that one pillar up there. Now, obviously, One Piece and Naruto is this, like, this versus pillar, basically, where it's like
that's
they're all contending.
That's where half my fan base is like Naruto, half One Piece, and I hate all that. Yeah. Just watch what you enjoy.
Yeah.
You get...
Exactly. But there's been so much drama which has come from the fan bases where it's like they're all struggling. They all want you to love One Piece more than Naruto, or Naruto more than One Piece. Isn't she? How have you felt things have changed since you started One Piece? Do you think there's been a change in the community, change in the way people react
But
to you since
one thing is a fact though, you know, no matter how much I love One Piece, you know, at the moment, my channel's never been this, like, afraid of strikes. It's never been this bad before One Piece.
It's never been this bad.
Makenshi, you've been sub to me for the Parasite days, yo. And Andrew's been subscribing to me since flipping the Pokemon days early. My channel's never been this risky, yo. You know, right now, it's like, I went a week without a strike. I should consider myself lucky. And it's come to that stage now where, like, I'm afraid every time there's a day goes past, I got a strike. But you know what? I'm not obviously blaming the One Piece community because majority of them are good, man. You see them in the Facebook group. But there's something going on behind closed doors that I don't know.
There is something going on behind closed doors, and this comes with the fan base. I would notice that on my Hunter x Hunter. I never had the problems I had while I was doing Hunter x Hunter. You know, you do these big giant shows that everyone loves. There comes with a pressure and a responsibility. And was there ever a time, bro, when you were doing it early on in
sorry, Makenshi, can I say one thing? It's like I uploaded 16 live reactions of One Piece in like 8-9 days. I went all out. You get me? I was loving it. Then I uploaded one Naruto video and it got so much hate. I'm like, yo, fam, why you hating, man? I just one Naruto video, yo.
And you know, there should be no doubt in people's minds that you love One Piece when you're reacting to it. It's like, well, you can't do right from wrong. Whenever you're saying something good and you're pulling out a bunch of things out, someone else will hate you. When you're not doing it, someone else will hate you. It's like, you can't do right from wrong. And do you feel as though when you started One Piece, there's been a giant pressure, because it's a very big anime, like you feel the pressure of the community on you? Have you felt that? Have you ever felt that? I mean, Nakama's a very small slice of it, bro. Nakama's a very small slice of your fan base. There are like 15,000 other people. I'm sure in some indirect way you felt the pressure.
It's come to a stage now, innit, that if I upload the live reaction, but 95% of people think it must be One Piece. If it's not One Piece, you know, they dislike it and they're upset with it. No, but they don't know that I started YouTube because of Naruto. You know what I mean? It's a reality fact. I think people don't understand that. The new people that are sub to me.
You know, you were saying in your video, I wanted to talk to you about that you had in your mind that you were gonna finish Marineford and you were gonna stop there. What did you mean by that? Were you gonna watch One Piece? Were you thinking to watch One Piece by yourself?
Okay, Makenshi, man, I'm here. Makenshi, how come I can't see some of the chat, or would I have to before I answer that?
Basically, let me send you the link to the pop-out chat, so you can basically have it popped out. Hold on, let me message you. Give me a sec, bro.
So at least with some names I see, I would be able to see what to say. But...
Yeah. Hold on a second. Where's your name? Join group chat. Okay. You might see a group chat come up here between me and you. I posted a link here. You can click it and it'll give you a pop-out for the chat.
Oh, so it's not on the main. I can't drag it into it.
Yeah, no. You can basically open it as a pop-out, so it'll come up. Can you click that link? I
click it, but then I can't see your face. It takes me away.
Oh, look, isn't it like a pop-out that you can shrink?
Oh, yeah. Okay, one sec. Okay, Makenshi, what were you saying before this? I mean, repeat the question.
Yeah, so I was saying, you know, you were saying in your video that you had an initial plan to finish Marineford and then stop. What did you mean by that? Did you mean
Makenshi, you know, because you know all the personal things that in my life with my daughter, not too well and that. And everything is pounding up. And you know what I thought? You know, jokes aside, Makenshi, man. You know, if Boruto wasn't starting like next month, or Boku no Hero wasn't starting next month, you know, a part of me did actually think this once Marineford ends, because you know, I can't help but live react to Marineford, how epic it's going. A part of me was saying that once I finish with that, you call it quits, man. I know it's kind of a shame to say, because I think to myself that. But that's before I actually thought of not having subs in the video, you know what I mean? And I thought, I did, you know, every now and then with these strikes, I always do think maybe it's best if I stop. I know it's kind of sucks to say, but it does hit my head every now and then.
No, you know what? I support you in that. You know why? Because look, you know you want time for these animes, and now obviously since you're not doing subs, you want to be able to watch these without the worry and issue and that kind of thing. And I don't blame you, bro. Like, I know this season that's coming up this year is very, very, like, dear to you, you know. Attack on Titan's coming, Boku no Hero season 2's
Boku no
coming.
Hero season 2, man. You know how much I love season 1. It's gonna be epic.
Yeah, no, there's no, and you know the funny thing is, people give me shit that I avoid animes like these nowadays. I don't tend to avoid animes like these, but even I enjoyed Boku no Hero season 1. Even I teared up. I know someone's gonna be laughing in the comments right now because I did tear up at some. I'm not completely like this elitist that people say that I shit on this anime, that anime. I actually want to remind the chat that I've seen past Marineford or One Piece. I was like the biggest fan. I discussed this.
So what made you stop One Piece then? What made you stop One Piece?
Basically, I'll explain to you now so I can explain it to people, yeah? I had a friend of mine, I used to be like the Naruto guy. I thought Naruto was the #1 anime in the world. Anyone dissed it, I used to swear at them. I used to try and convince my friends to watch it. We had made a friend with a person who introduced us to One Piece. We used to watch One Piece with him. He got us into it. We would communally watch it together. What happened with this guy is he turned into a snake. He started backbiting. He started back-chatting friends. He was always bad mouthing. He was saying One Piece is better than Naruto. One Piece is better than Naruto. Yeah. Then after that, he turned into a complete dickhead, and he spoiled Naruto for me. He spoiled a lot of Naruto for me, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, when I stopped being his friend, I stopped watching One Piece with him, and then I gradually got out of it. But the main reason is because obviously my mom passed away a couple of years ago. I just completely cut off watching things that I enjoyed. I couldn't game, I couldn't play anime, so I just drifted off, and that's why I stopped. People say, what did it take for you to stop One Piece? And you know, there's nothing more important than family members, and when someone passes away, that was the reason. So there is a good reason why I stopped there. Now, since then, I've just discovered new anime. I watch different anime, and you know, I started Marineford. I was periodically checking out you. I promised you that when you got to Marineford, I would be like on that shit, watching your reactions. Your reactions have been classic. You saw your video to Pirate King, all that stuff, and those are like the classic moments. Yeah. So actually, I want to. Yeah, so those are the reasons I want to give to people. Like, everyone knows in the chat you love One Piece, man, and your epic reactions to it are like video worthy. They're worthy of their own little videos, you know, as you do it, bro. So I want to talk about. Sorry, yeah, go on.
Nah, Makenshi, man, what about, you know, the one anime that I listened to you like reacting to, and obviously Rainbow Nisha, yo, remember that?
Rainbow Nisha Rokubu, oh man, you didn't regret that, man. That was crazy, man. You know, like I don't think
I fell in tears more on any anime than that, man. That touched your soul, that video.
Yeah,
man.
I think when I saw that, I thought the fundamental friendship between these group of people is something that you'd love, but it's also in such a situation where you can't help but be emotional. It's a very emotionally manipulative anime. They put them through so much, man.
It's like dudes go back in prison to find a way to get their friend out while they remain in prison. It's like, it's beautiful, man. I think we finished it the same day, remember?
Yeah, exactly. And we kind of sort of caught up at the same time as well. So we were watching it with each other at the same time Rainbow was coming out. So we saw it, and what they did for each other, and they took hits, and they got hurt for one another, man.
You know the funny thing with Makenshi? I remember you told me to react to Rainbow Nisha, and I thought I was like, hold on, but this is Makenshi telling me to watch something. This has to be good. You know what I mean? Because you don't tell me to watch it normally. You know what I mean? So
I don't normally,
Check after the first 2 episodes, I was in love, man. Oh man.
Yeah. You know, talking about. Yeah, just saying, people say that they could make, there's a lot of stuff they cut out that they could make a season out of, but it's so old now, this anime, and lots of good anime is not getting the treatment it deserves, bro. Which is why
you know Charlie in our Facebook group, he said there's enough
content
to make like 5-6 seasons. Piece of shit.
There is.
He just want one more season, yo.
You know, the weird thing is, you know why I agree that we latch on to animes and we stick to them. Like, we have our 1 or 2 animes that we'll always watch. So obviously you love Naruto, One Piece. There's always these shows that you latch on to. It's because we don't get second seasons to shows we love. It's really rare to see Code Geass season 3. No one knew that would happen. Like, season 3 of Code Geass will get made. So Ippo got cut off when it was getting so hyped, so crazy, yeah. And I'm still surprised that Madhouse haven't done, these companies haven't done Ippo. either, man. I'm waiting for that to come back. I'd react to that.
You know, season 4 would be something like this. You know, if I quit YouTube for a year and I heard that Ippo's getting a season 4, I'll come back for live reaction just for Ippo, man. I mean, that's how much I love that shit, man.
Yeah.
You know, I said, you know,
exactly.
4, and it was the same people that made season 3. Il Pass Naruto is my favorite anime. I stick by that, man.
Oh, you serious?
I stick by that because you know, the way he ended, and I said to myself that, hold on, is it better than Naruto? I was actually thinking it. Is it better? Then I thought I'd be Tachi and Pain.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, it's not. But I was that close to swapping, man. And you know, till this day, like, you know, the fight that I watched the most after Goku versus Frieza is the Mashita fight, man. You know, the fight with Kimura.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Mashita. You know, I always found it weird, like, Ippo was this underdog. Not only is Ippo literally an underdog, I've always thought the anime was an underdog. Like, I found out recently that Grease Lightning's reactions #1 anime is Ippo. I never knew that. I literally never. His #1 anime is Ippo. Like, I asked him, and I didn't realize that was.
Knows his shit, yo.
Exactly. So. Yeah. So it's weird. Like, for me, I really love Ippo, but because recently I've got into animes that I never would have watched before, it's kind of changed things up. So just because I put Ippo number 14 or 15, that doesn't mean anything. That could be 9 out of 10, the same as another 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10.
You know, obviously, you know, Makenshi, they're like, it's like my bro, for example. Every time what's your favorite sporting, I mean, like anime in general, he can't include sporting in it. He would be like, no, sporting got nothing to do with like your favorite anime. But I look at it in the whole context, man. Sporting is obviously included in anime, in it. It might be a different type of genre, but it can be your favorite anime, you know what I mean?
It can be. No, it's possible. I recently discovered that I was watching a baseball anime called One Outs. It was mainly psychological baseball anime, and I love that anime. And I'm not being a fan of sports anime at all, but I discovered that, you know what, sports anime have something. I'm actually going to do Haikyuu soon. I was telling people that in a couple of months, within the next few months, Haikyuu I was going to do, and I was never been into sports anime, but now I've come around to it. You know, actually, I want to talk about now that we're talking about the other animes and stuff. I remember back in the day, for me, and I've said this to people, my favorite era, you know, everyone has a golden era on their channel when there's a bunch of anime reactions going on. I love the Parasite days. I love the 7 Deadly Sins days. Tokyo Ghoul, Deadly Sins. Yeah. Now, talking about that, you were juggling lots of anime back then, and so I want to talk to you about 3 animes in particular. Some people ask me to say this forward. I want to talk about 3 animes and what your feelings are towards them and how soon you think you're doing. So Gintama's one that's come up, I'm sure, with you about starting Gintama, going down Gintama Road. FMAB, those 2 first I want to talk about. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and Gintama. Now, I have my views on Gintama.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so I have my views on Gintama. I think Gintama is one of those shows which is heavily comedy focused. It's very, very heavily comedy focused. So I don't want to act like I'm watching it and, you know, you shouldn't watch it. It's very, very, very comedy focused, and it takes some time for.
One Piece is harder on comedy. That's what I believe. But look how much I love that.
I know. I don't think so. I watched One Piece.
It's got more comedy than One Piece.
Yeah, at the beginning it's very, very comedy focused. You should consider it a comedy anime at the beginning with serious arcs that come every 50 episodes and every 20 episodes and
Makenshi,
that kind of thing.
When does the serious arc begin in Gintama? After how many episodes? We'll have to wait like 100 episodes.
No, 100 episodes. I'll tell you my story. When I started Gintama, I hated Gintama by episode 9. I was like, bro, I can't do it, the Gintama, man. It's too much comedy. I promised my subscribers I'll watch it till episode 61. No matter how bad I think it is, no matter how much I hate it, I'll watch it till episode 60. Look, I'll put myself through 61 episodes. After that, if I don't like it, I'll drop it. Thankfully, I got into it by episode 28, 29, up to 30s. The first really, really serious arc comes at episode 58, bro. So you got to put yourself through that many episodes to do it.
Okay,
but if you don't like it before that,
is it worth it?
Bro, this comes on to my next question, bro. It's worth it for sure, but you gotta Naruto, One Piece when you go into it. You gotta completely.
You broken up. Sorry, I never heard you what you said.
Yeah. you gotta not expect Naruto or One Piece from going into Gintama, because I did that, and that's why I really, I didn't think, because you have to appreciate the comedy. Now, I don't know what these guys are saying. I'm sure they're probably saying things that they've heard me say before, but you have to accept this. Yes, he's signed. See, everyone's bigging up, but when I got criticized for starting Gintama, I got said, look, if you can't put up with all the comedy, then you may as well drop it now. I got told that, and I actually grew to love the comedy. And you like the One Piece comedy, so I'm sure you'll have no problem with the Gintama comedy.
But Makenshi, remember when I started One Piece? After a few episodes, I said to myself, maybe it's not for me, man. I can't take, like, you know, the music serious. I mean, like, there's so much problem at the beginning. Remember when I made those videos? Then look again.
Yeah, I remember we used to have this conversation that you were struggling. You were struggling
I was
to
hard,
see.
man. I weren't lying. I was telling the truth. I got the too many jokes, and Luffy don't take no one seriously. What's all this about? Then I continued watching, and after Chopper, man, that shit hit me like an arrow, yo.
Yeah, exactly. And Chopper was the turning point for you. The Chopper backstory was the turning. Yeah, and we all need that. And Gintama has that. I think for me, around episode 35, me personally, around episode 35, I got that moment in Gintama where I wanted to start. But I feel as though, bro, like, this actually brings me on to FMAB. You know me, bro. You know, I always been saying FMAB. A lot of people, you know that. And I know you hate to hear it. You know, I would feel embarrassed.
Inevitable, man.
I know, like, you've heard it from many people, not just me. And I know having people keep banging on about things can get really irritating, that kind of thing. I'd be embarrassed to say this if there wasn't so many people in Nakama who also agreed, like 60, 70 people that also agreed. Bro, FMAB, bro, do you think it's something soon on your horizon, bro? I feel as though that anime is made for you.
Because if you remember when I made that poll and had Brotherhood in there and had so many other animes in there, and you know, jokes aside, I was blown away seeing Brotherhood, like, you know, obviously Brotherhood was first, and what anime was it competing with? The new
ReZero is competing.
ReZero. And I was shocked, like, I had Super in there, I had so many other animes in there which people tell me they're great. So Brotherhood was keep winning, and it did hit me that, you know, maybe it's good, because you told me to watch Rainbow, which was good, and I loved it. And maybe Brotherhood is, you know what I mean? Maybe
my word on Rainbow. If you took my word on Rainbow was like 3 people probably recommended it to you. Me, 1 or 2 other people. In fact, it might even be just me that recommended Rainbow. But not only am I recommending Rainbow, I think we did an internal poll as well in Nakama, where it was just people from Nakama, the 400 people in there. And number 1 was FMAB, and 48 people voted for that. Number 2 position had 28 people who voted. So the difference between number 1 and number 2 is actually internally really big. So do you think it's something, bro, that you're more inclined to kind of, bro? Realistically, I know people want to hear it from you, bro.
Okay,
is it something you can do?
Makenshi, okay, this might sound like a stupid question, but you know, I need to be satisfied. You get me? What's up with that kind of subliminal message bullshit in the anime? That's false, isn't it?
No, there's no subliminal message. It's all false, bro. And you know, you were saying that you thought that you got spoiled on the anime. That stuff happens in like the first 3 episodes.
I was told
that stuff is there's no subliminal messaging. I think if you're looking for a cast of characters as good as One Piece, or cast of characters as good as Naruto, you'll get them. You'll get your favorite characters. You'll get the action, bro. You'll get the brotherhood. It's basically a story about 2 brothers whose mom dies, and they go on this long ass journey to resurrect them. That's the mission. I'm not going to say anything.
Do you find that out in the first episode?
You find out in the first couple of episodes. No, the first episode is just a setup for the series. In the first 3 episodes, you find out that these 2 brothers, their mom dies. One goes into the bodysuit of armor. That's all in the first 3 episodes. You don't need to worry. There's no spoiler at all. Zero spoiler.
Because the way you were talking, it's like you spoiled the whole anime for me.
No, bro. If you felt that, you should have told me, bro. You should have said, look, this is what you're saying about the anime. Is that true, bro? Not a single person in Nakama. You can message anyone in Nakama right now individually. You pick one at random, pick a dude at random, and say, "Shall I start FMAB?" Let's go. Yes. Exclamation marks.
How many episodes?
Yes, do it.
25.
No, it's 75 episodes. 75 or 76 total. And don't think this one show full. There's no seasons. 76 episodes, I think there are, and you'll be done. And I think it's not too big. It's not as big as Gintama, but it's not so small that it's over straight away.
Makenshi, and you watched the pod moving forward, didn't it? Do you prefer Brotherhood over One Piece? How much have you watched of One Piece?
I prefer Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood over One Piece, and I don't mean to be biased, bro. Over One Piece, I don't mean to be biased at all, bro. There's a reason why when we did that, when I put that questionnaire stuff, like what's your favorite anime, a lot of people will say FMAB. It's not even a competition thing. There's not even no competition. Usually you see Dragon Ball Super versus One Piece versus Naruto. FMAB doesn't even fall into that category where people are gonna give you shit and hassle. FMAB is just one of those really rare animes that comes along where you get the feels, you get the moments. There's literally no fan service in there. In fact, it has probably the least fan service of the animes that I think of. It's got everything you want, bro. Everything. I promise you.
I'm not gonna lie. You know what you told me at first about the brothers and the one to get the mom back? That sounds something that I would enjoy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's about.
You think it's bro? Like you think as a definitive answer for the people in the chat? There's 96 people watching, bro. 96 people watching right now. Like, do you think it'd be realistically something that you would start sooner rather than later? Because I have no doubt, and your Nakama, you can take me out of the equation. Your Nakama has no doubt that you will love that anime. You will love that anime.
The thing is this, once, I don't know whenever Marineford finishes, once Marineford finishes, my plan is this, instantly, in about a week, finish Hakusho, because I only got like 15 episodes left, and after Hakusho, I'm open for a new anime. So that new anime is open for what you guys think, and to be honest, man, maybe it'll be Brotherhood one. Because you guys, 1, 2
Brotherhood, yeah.
Obviously,
I'm sure people are glad to hear that. And bro, I think there's a case of it's a win-win situation. It's a win-win for your Nakama. You can even forget other people. It's a win-win for Nakama. It's a win for you. I promise you'll love it. I promise you it will be up there with Hunter x Hunter. You know when you recommended Hunter x Hunter to me? How's it got feels? Ask the chat right now. Hey, chat right now. Yeah, look at the chat. Does FMAB have the feels? Watch what people type. Spam the chat with does FMAB have feels? And watch what the chat says. Look at the chat, bro.
I think a good, story and feels is something I would like. You know what I mean? Yes.
Feels, yes, feels. Everyone will say feels. Yeah, bro. There's not gonna be no spoilers. We got our people's on lock, man. Like Andrew's a mod, Todd's a mod now, Maya. So you don't have to worry. Everyone feels. Like 20 people are saying feels right now. So, bro, I promise you, you'll cry. The ending.
Tell me one thing. V0 was beating FM Brotherhood at some times. Did you watch V0?
Yeah. I watched. Yeah, I just reacted to V0. Yeah, V0 is good, but it's not FM. It's nowhere near FMAB. And I'll tell you why I got. It's not Brotherhood, and I'll also tell you why I got the votes it did. It's a new anime. It's a new season anime. People are always watching the newest shit and stuff, so people will come in.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But the fact that FM is an old anime, and you're still able to do the same, like it shows you, people still love it. So, bro, I hope nothing changes, and inshallah, when you get that sort of free, it can be for FMAB. Recon's in the chat as well. He's saying do FMAB.
Okay, we got might some people in the chat. I'll say now, once Marineford finishes, One Piece will be on the break, and do Haiku season 3 as well. Hakusho.
Yeah.
Want to complete that? I'll start Brotherhood then. But Brotherhood is that strict with the sub strikes?
Yeah.
Is that strict with the
strikes?
I can't have no subs in it.
Yeah, you're doing it without subs, so you can do it. You can do it, and it's fine. Just the way you've been doing One Piece, just the way you do it.
What company's behind it?
Sorry.
What company's behind it?
No, Funimation. Yeah, it's like One Piece. It's like Funimation. But you. Yeah, I know, but you see, that's the contention. But the fact that they will never stress. No, I know, I did everything. That's why I stopped Funimation. I don't do Funimation now. Everyone's saying do ping pong, which is a table tennis anime. I can't do it because it's Funimation. But because you're doing no subtitles, and timer, there's no way they can strike you for FMAB.
Yo,
And
Makenshi, I was looking at the Facebook with him and I've seen Vislani reactions. He said, what you're doing now with One Piece isn't 110% strike proof. I'm like, fam, it has to be strike proof because there's only me.
No, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way anyone would want to report your video because there's nothing to report. The only reason, see, there's someone. I don't know if Michael's watching. Oh, Andrew, yeah,
Yo,
Andrew. Actually, you know what? This is good time.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Andrew, man, welcome, man.
Oh, good.
Andrew, is your camera enabled, bro?
It's just that I accidentally am using the camera on my laptop. I forgot to turn on the one on my camera, so yeah, the quality is going to be horrible. So I decided to turn it off.
Makenshi, you know the funny thing.
That's fine. That's fine.
You know, this is the first ever time I'm using my camera on my laptop. I never knew the quality was.
I'm surprised you never did reactions.
I never used my camera on the laptop.
Did you never start reactions with using your laptop cam before, like in the past?
No, I've always used the camera, always.
External camera, yeah, you've always used that. It's weird though, isn't it? Like this is the first time. Actually, you know what? It's a good timing, Andrew, because I actually want to talk about gaming now, bro. Gaming. I know there's some people. We'll talk about Nintendo in a bit, but for now, let's talk about. You know, we've had our disagreements, bro. Over there. We'll talk about that in a bit, and we'll keep it chill, bro. We'll keep it chill, yeah.
Right now, one thing I want to say off the bat: don't compare Horizon to Zelda.
Shit. Okay. I'll promise you this. My friend recently, he didn't buy consoles for years. He told me that he bought a Switch recently. I was shocked. I was like, this guy, I thought didn't even game no more. So when he brings Zelda around, I'm gonna ask him to let me play Zelda. And if you get the chance, bro, you play Horizon. Then we can reconvene. Oh, there it is. We can reconvene again, and we can compare Horizon with Zelda because I think there's very similarities there. But right.
There we go.
Puerto Rico. I was gonna say. We're talking about gaming. I want to discuss this with you and Andrew now.
Awesome.
You know, bro. Yeah, we love JRPGs, bro. Final Fantasy VII, Tales series, all that good stuff, bro. Compared to nowadays, we've had games coming out. Tales area, Final Fantasy 15, Zelda's came out, JRPGs, Persona 5 coming, great JRPGs coming. Bro, do you think that we get the same quality of JRPGs now that are decent compared to back in the day after FF7 came out? 8, 9, 10, like bang.
You know, Makenshi jokes aside, man. You know, other than like Tales of Symphonia, Tales of Zestiria. I mean, like Zestiria was okay, but I wouldn't say it's an RPG that brought RPGs back. You know, the last great RPG, great RPG that I think was Xenoblade and Lost Odyssey. Yeah. Since Final Fantasy 10 days.
Xenoblade. Yeah, I thought you really liked FF15 though. Like you said, the story for
FF15 was good, but like.
Not as good as
You know the world map? Is it just me or did it feel that there's nothing to do?
Yeah, no, you're right. There's just creatures and there's nothing really to do, like NPCs.
Yeah.
It's not populated. Yeah. So Andrew,
Zelda, for example, Zelda, there's shrines everywhere. I mean, like, there's like horse ranches, there's things to do. With Final Fantasy 15, I feel like I'm going in circles.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. It's like you're in an open world, but you're really just going from one A to B to C to D. You're not distracted by things like a monster up a mountain or something going on here that you want to discover, like Zelda. I heard a lot about Zelda in the last couple of things. I was trying to get my head around why is it getting the 10 out of 10s, isn't it? And I've heard that it puts you in the world and it doesn't hold your hand. It makes you go anywhere you want.
Yeah, Makenshi, you know the thing with Zelda? It puts you in the world. It doesn't give you a tutorial even. And they say you do what you want. You want to fight the last boss, go fight the last boss. And you're basically, you're your man, yo. I mean, like, the world is yours. I mean, I can't explain it, man. You need
like Shadow of the Colossus, basically?
Not even that, man. Shadow of the Colossus was like a masterpiece, but it's like, you have not played an open world game until you played Zelda, man. Makenshi, you might be thinking I'm going over the top. But it's Zelda.
No, my beef isn't with Zelda. I've been a huge Zelda fan. Minish Cap, Wind Waker, I played the old classic Zeldas. I got no beef against Zelda. Like my beef was about Switch, but I'll leave that till the end. We'll talk about the Switch towards the end and stuff. But you think we're getting JRPGs as good as we did before? Or are you slowly seeing them not get as good as like Tales isn't what it used to be, bro?
I think RPG things are dying, man. That's what I believe, man. You know, there was some good, like Fantasy 15 it was good to get like an RPG game that we love after so many years. But when are we gonna get another game like that? 47 remake. I mean, 2020. That game ain't coming out soon.
Yeah, I don't think it's coming out soon, man. Like Andrew, what do you think? Like, do you think the quality of the JRPGs that you've been playing and these games is as good as you remember them? Or you think they're just diminishing?
Diminishing. When I was growing up as a kid, I mean, there were JRPGs everywhere. You know, so many games to choose from. But lately, as time went on, they were just as consistent with it, and I think there was a lot of deterioration with them. So that's really my opinion. Just I don't really think they're pumping up as much as they used to, and I don't think the quality is holding up as from back in the day.
Yeah, it's like the PS1 days, man. So many Final Fantasy. There was Legend of Dragoon. There was Chrono Cross, Alondra. There was Tales of Destiny. I mean, there were so many to choose from, man. Now, like, you don't buy a console for RPGs, man. It's like, what if you buy for RPG?
You don't,
are you gonna buy it?
You know, and here's something that I think people disagree on. I don't know if Grease Lightning reacts in the chat now. Grease Lightning reaction doesn't like turn-based anymore. Like, I don't miss turn-based, but we're different. That either, man. Persona's coming out, which kind of proves that there is still a market for turn-based. So I'm sure you know about Persona, Andrew. Like, are you still a fan of Persona, like turn-based JRPGs? Is this something that you can still play and still enjoy as much as you did like 10 years ago?
Persona. Well, the funny thing is how I got into Persona. I actually got into Persona from Persona 4 Arena, which is a 2D fighting game, and then I got into Persona 4 Golden, which is the latest version. That people recommend you play that one. Don't play the original one. And I mean, it's a hell of a game, but I think it's a game that, you know, it requires patience. It requires you to, you know, think what you want to do. And so the major obviously, like, I don't want to insult people, but lately people aren't really that patient anymore. So I'm thinking that also plays a part in why there's not they're not pumping those turn-based anymore, because the audience they're not patient as they used to be.
Yeah, and we nailed it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you know what, I believe that Lost Odyssey, no matter, you know, to me it's one of my favorite RPGs. You get me? But Makenshi, do you think it was right that it was on 360? Would that game sold 10 times more on PS3?
I agree. I 100% agree with you, bro. You know the issue is...
Hold on. Sorry, 1 sec. You know, Miss Walker Sakaguchi, they brought back Lost Odyssey, a turn-based banner system, like Fantasy 10, 9, 8, and all of that. So when they released it, the game barely sold. And look how much effort it took to make that game.
It barely sold.
Yeah.
Even in Japan, they didn't do it. Yeah.
Turn-based is dead. They for these games.
Yeah, that's also the reason what happened with Resident Evil. When Resident Evil Remake came out, that was a game that, you know, they took so much time and effort to develop that, from the motion capture, from everything, from the story, the music, everything, and the game didn't sell that much. And for Capcom, that was like some sort of sign saying, "Oh, people aren't into horror anymore. Let's go into more action," and that is kind of what led to that sort of downfall for the franchise.
You know, no matter what, man, you know, RPGs, like, you know, I can't accept the change that right now, like, you know, how 2015 is, but a part of me would always prefer turn-based, man. Makenshi, man, you have to agree, yo.
No, I 100% agree with that. I also agree that Microsoft made the mistake that no one ever associated Microsoft consoles with JRPGs, with Japanese games. So I don't know how they thought that bringing out a Japanese exclusive, a new IP, was gonna do well in Japan, but I rate them for.
What was going through Sakaguchi's head? Hold on,
you have to rate them for.
Let's release it on the 360.
Yeah, but do you rate Microsoft for trying it? Because Microsoft always had the criticisms that they didn't have the games that you love. So you gotta give props that they tried it. Tried Blue Dragon,
you know 360. To be honest, after the PS2 is one of the best consoles, man. I love the 360, man.
Yeah.
Infinity Bond,
I love the 360.
Blue Dragon, they had you know, Tales of, what was it, Vesperia, was it? That Lost Odyssey, that
Vesperia, exactly. Yeah. I mean, Andrew, were you familiar with Lost Odyssey, Vesperia, or Blue Dragon? Those games on 360. Did you play any of them? What did you think of them?
I was always aware of Blue Dragon. The rest I didn't really I didn't really, wasn't aware of them until later on when I was older. The 360, the Xbox for me was the Xbox 360. I played the console. I never owned it. A lot of my friends always had it. And I'd always go into their house, play Halo, Gears of War, all that stuff. But thing is, they were huge Xbox fans. But even they didn't have those games. I think one of them had Blue Dragon, but that was really about it. Even they didn't have those games.
See, that's why, when you think of them games, you don't think of the Xbox fan base.
Exactly.
When you think of Lost Odyssey, you don't think of the Xbox fan. You think of...
you don't think of it. I agree, man. I agree that it was on a console that just couldn't sell that sort of game. And they could have done so much better.
Makenshi, I remember in college, and a dude goes to me, goes, you love Final Fantasy? I go, yeah. You could go check out Lost Odyssey. I go, what console? You go, Xbox. I go, forget it, man. It's going to be crap. It's going to be like some, next shooting type of game. And after I seen the trailer, man, day after I'm on Xbox 360, man. Day after, I remember. Yeah,
and I swear, the story for that was the spiritual Final Fantasy that we never got in 13. That literally was the spiritual Final Fantasy, that 13 trilogy, that piece of shit garbage trilogy.
13. It was only after playing that game that I actually believed 13 was a lucky number.
Unlucky number, exactly. And Japan's superstitious. Apparently, the guy who was running Square Enix at the time was bare superstitious. He would go to these people, these mystics that read your future and shit like that. The guy was literally going to those people and saying, is it going to be successful? Shall I move my office over here or shall I move my office over there so that this game is going to be successful? They were bare superstitious about 13. And it flopped from them, man. Because
the fancy 13 people, I mean, I don't get it, man. Listen, you release 13, okay, sells about 1.2 million or something. Okay, you sold well, you get me. 13 too. He sold half of it. So, okay, man, if I made the game, I'll be thinking, I'm doing something wrong here. It's not selling as much. They make Lightning Returns. That sold even half of that. And I don't get it.
Exactly. No, I understand, man. It was a great decision, but it just didn't work out on paper because Microsoft just didn't do the right things to make themselves big in Japan. Like, they didn't even bother have to add any Japanese games. So what would make them think that 2 or 3 games in Japanese are going to work?
I read this article that the sales of the Xbox One increased in Japan by 300%. And when I saw the total sales, you know how much it was? 370 units.
Oh shit! I heard about that. Yeah. They love the percentages. Yeah.
When
they love the percentages, isn't it? Like, to make it sound big.
I remember the video. I still remember the video Khan made a few years ago where they did the Xbox One launch in Japan, and only one guy turned up, and he was late because he had work.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yo, Makenshi, do you remember the video? The Xbox One launch line, and you actually smoke. What there.
Yeah, the thing is, I said on the Facebook group as well, like we were talking about that, like the reason I keep the Xbox One now, I agree, there's literally no exclusives on the horizon, that kind of thing. It's because of the backwards compatibility.
They have Scalebound, but they canned that.
They flopped on that, and also the fact that I won't be able to play Lost Odyssey without an Xbox One now because I don't have my 360 no more. I can play Blue Dragon now as well. So that's the reason I'm going to keep it. Because lately I've been on PS4. Every time I stream now, it's on PS4, Horizon, Nier, all that stuff. Actually, I want to talk to you about Sony. Now, one thing we all share in common is our love of Sony PlayStation 4. We all love Sony PlayStation 4, yeah. Now, I want to bring up the Switch. Now, bro, do you think the Switch will be enough to distract you for the next couple of months of all the games that are coming out on Sony's console?
This year alone, I reckon I'll be playing my Switch more than any other console. This year's got games, man, for the Switch, man. Okay, man, I know you're saying it's Mario Kart 8, like, it's the same as the Wii U, but let's be honest, man, battle mode makes a huge difference. I'll be on that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say...
I mean, for you personally...
Sorry?
Yeah, you made the case, bro, that for you, the Switch is perfect. And I agree. For you, obviously, with a family, you need to be able to have the TV free for the kids. You want to play in your thing. When you told me that, I was like, okay, you know what? For Khan, this is a perfect console. This is a perfect console. He loves Mario Kart. He's very involved in the community Mario Kart. He's got kids that need to play on the TV. For you, I agree. But I think for the general public who were expecting, you know, more than a game that was either a port from the Wii U one, a re-release of MK8. Arms it looks decent, you know, for a game.
Sorry, you want to finish? You can talk.
I'll just say that for a price,
sorry.
for that kind of, sorry, let me finish that before you say, at that price point on day one, I honestly don't believe that Nintendo Switch was exactly what people were expecting. I think it really did fall below what they were expecting, but because they have the secret sauce, which is the Zelda game, to push the units for that thing, then I think that was the case. But I think when you look at the console, the re-releases of games, I Am Setsuna has been on digital for a while now. MK is a re-release.
Are you really talking about remasters? Look at the PS4. How many remasters did that get?
A shitload.
No. I agree. But that was actually that's true. No, it's true. It's true. And I agree. If we're comparing, launch games have always been trash. I think Microsoft had some of the worst launch games. Sony were decent, but I think after, I'm talking about the next 6 or 7 months. Apart from Zelda, I don't see the console having the killer app. And
Makenshi, let's talk about Mario Kart 8. How many people bought a Wii U worldwide? About 12 million. And you know Mario Kart on the Wii, how much did that sell? 30, 40 million or something. The Wii sold over 100 million units. You get me? So, you know, Nintendo, they're thinking of this Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is for the people that never owned a Wii U. You know what I mean? Because not everyone had a Wii U.
Yeah.
So, to be honest, they'd be kind of silly not
to
release this game.
Yeah, and I also agree that Zelda actually skipped a generation. We didn't get a native Zelda game on the Wii U when you think about it. Like, it's basically we're getting So obviously Zelda, it's a delayed release, so they can't delay it anymore. My issue is that statistically, since every Nintendo console since the NES has actually done worse than the last. So SNES did worse than. I love those consoles, by the way. I was the biggest Nintendo fan back in the day. Yeah, so SNES did worse than the NES. When the Nintendo 64 came out, it did worse than the SNES. When the GameCube came out, it did worse than the N64, except for the Wii U, which was like a giant thing. But obviously, none of us were like the biggest fans of the Wii. Obviously, as Xenoblade, for example, but it didn't have the kind of wealth of games that, you know, something like GameCube had.
Now, the Wii,
for me,
you know, the Wii, I might have bought it on the release, but it was a flop at the beginning, man. Wii Sports was stupid. You got bored after 20 minutes.
Yeah. So what I want to know is, what does Nintendo mean to you? Are you happy with the way Nintendo? If Nintendo is how it's going to be with the Switch, are you happy with that? Because there's people like me who are like Nintendo fans since the NES days that don't feel that they're my Nintendo anymore. I don't feel I have that connection with them. And Mario's good. I love that. I love Zelda. But their consoles aren't enough for me to pay 300, 400, even though I could to invest in it. Because you know the Wii U, we all bought the Wii U. People bought the Wii U expecting it to be a console they played, but that wasn't the case. The Wii U kind of wasn't played. If it wasn't for Mario Kart, bro, you probably wouldn't have been playing the Wii. The Wii
that
U,
would have been buried by now.
Yeah, exactly. So what I mean is, like, do you think that the Switch has a chance that it will become like the Wii U after Zelda and Mario Odyssey come out in the first year space of time?
It's like when it was released, you had that Mario game, that side platformer. And then after that, you had Donkey Kong. What happened after Donkey Kong? We have to wait so long for Mario Kart and Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
We're nothing with Switch. We're getting games continuously, man. You know, I know. At the beginning when the Wii U got launched, what did Reggie say? We're gonna have third-party content. You know, on a daily, not daily basis. I mean, it's gonna come. You know what I mean? Which was a lie. But with the Switch, if it is a lie, we found out after a year. If it's a lie, then it's gonna have the same fate as the Wii U, man. I'm not gonna deny it.
Yeah. I mean, look, for me, it's like if this Switch does well, man, I'll be happy. Like, it's not like I don't want it to do well. I've got no bias for it. It's just because I skipped so many generations of Nintendo consoles, you kind of go in kind of hating. You become that sort of hater where you're like, man, I wish Nintendo did something to bring me back. And I really want to play Zelda. I hold my hands up that I'm curious about Zelda. I want to play it. And inshallah, I'll play it. You know.
It's like so many people tell me, shall I buy a Switch? And you know, I could be like an idiot and say, oh yeah, just buy it. But I say the truth, don't buy it. You know, if you're not like a Nintendo fan, like where I am, I bought it because, you know, I'm like, it's Nintendo, man. I love that shit. But
yeah, no, I agree. But one place.
It's like when I'm speaking to Andrew, I go, when Mario Kart 8 comes out, you know, pick you up around that time. Don't pick you up now because maybe you'll get bored too quick. And obviously, the last thing I want to do is wait someone to buy the Switch, then him getting bored like 2 days after.
Yeah, that's the plan. I'm waiting for them to.
What's your thoughts?
My thoughts on what?
Yeah, so what's your thoughts on the Switch? On Switch, yeah. So I was going to ask you what you're answering anyway. Your thoughts on Switch, and is it something you want to get straight away? You want to wait for? You want to see the lineup of games? Like, what's your criteria for getting the Switch console?
I mainly want to get the Switch because, like, I like the fact that you can take it anywhere you go. I really love the fact you can really play it anywhere you go. I think that's a huge plus. And I think that was one of the best decisions they have made. And I like the fact that even though the Switch is not like technically superior compared to the PS4 or Xbox One, it's capable enough in order to run the third-party games. And I like that because that was always a thing with Nintendo. They don't focus on hardware; they only focus on games. And I understand games are important. I understand completely. Games are completely important, but you also need the hardware to back it up. That's why, like look at the Nintendo 64. The Nintendo 64. That console was hardware heavy. That's why it was called the 64 because of the hardware.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, for me the Switch, I'll get it, but it's just not a console I want to get straight away. I'll get it when it's in a bundle and it's a bit of a lower price because I'm a bit of a cheap bastard, I'll admit.
Makenshi, let me tell you something. Makenshi, with the Switch, when you're playing like a Zelda game, not on the TV but downstairs or like when I was playing in the hospital the other day,
or when my friend was
playing Zelda,
or one of my friends.
Trust me, man. You need to experience it, yo.
No, I agree, which is why I told my friend, I haven't seen him for a while, but he's gonna bring it to my thing that I want to try it out. Like, I really want to see what is the draw of the Switch, because I think as though it wasn't communicated to people with demo units or anything like that about what the Switch was and what it could do. My issue is always the objective stuff like third-party support, price point, hardware, how long it can last, how long they can keep bringing out games that improve as they go on, so that for a good 3 or 4 years that this console lasts, isn't it? Because otherwise, why would you spend so much money on day one when you could spend it on a game or two? As for Horizon, bro, all I can say, bro, is I say you try it. And I think you will fall in love with that game. I think Horizon, I don't know whether your brothers playing it, your brothers are playing it, but if they are, I'm sure they've said good things about Horizon, that sort of thing. Now, gaming stuff we covered. I want to talk about politics. Let's get that politics before.
Makenshi, I was gonna text you. I was about to say, let's kind of drop this topic, man. It kind of heated up in it.
Oh shit.
I mean. Yeah, it's not that heat for me. I'm willing to have that kind of reasoned discussion. I've been a Nintendo fan. I don't want to misinform people. I've been a Nintendo fan since the NES days. I'm 31 years old. I hate to bring out the age thing, but I will tell people that I've been a NES fan. I used to love them. Castlevania, Contra, Metroid. I loved those games back in the day. Mega Man. I was such a big fan of those. I don't see Mega Mans now. I don't see Castlevanias in Nintendo. I don't see them giving a crap about Metroid, Star Fox. They used to have a huge catalog of games, even on GameCube, even though it flopped and they took that risk and it failed to them. I think everyone's entitled to it.
Wasn't there a new Star Fox game for the Wii U a while ago?
Star Fox, that type of lilac was the shooting one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they haven't been. Yeah, they haven't been really great, and I don't know whether some games that I'm looking forward to.
And the thing with the Nintendo, man, nowadays, man, it's like the Nintendo need to get through the head that them days are gone where we call our friends like come to our house, let's jump on the computer. It's the day and age of online gaming, and the Switch right now, you can't even send your friend a message. What's that about?
Yeah. Say what?
But bro,
I can't send my friend a message saying how you doing. I can't do that.
What?
The the internet functionality.
That's the thing with Nintendo, yo. I mean, like the too kid-friendly bullshit. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, man. Obviously, it's good to watch out for that shit. But I mean, like, your kids have to grow up one day, man. I mean, are you gonna isolate them and shit, man.
Yeah, no, exactly. I actually want to ask you, did you relate to that? Do you think Nintendo think that they don't have to play by the rules that other people do? Like,
Yeah,
no matter how much you hate the Xbox, do they think that, look, we're too good, we're on the side, we don't have to do things that other people are doing, like party chat on the console, sending messages, friends list, you know?
And this is the thing that's hurting them hard, man. It's the online thing, yo.
Yeah.
It's the voice chat. I mean, like Mario Kart 8 has not got a voice chat, man. Like Mario Party, I don't know if you play Mario Party, but that's a game that needs voice chat.
Yeah.
These small things that I don't do, it pisses me off. If you watch some Mario Kart videos, I mean, I always mention shit like this. That's the only thing with Nintendo I despise, man. It's online, man.
Yeah.
And
I feel as though they're gonna
and the way they treat streamers with that shit.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
They're angry though. You want to do a Zelda review video, but you can't do it. You know, Nintendo, they're like this. You know, YouTube is promotion. No matter how you look at it, you get me. Like, you know, like one good reviewer, like with 1 million subs, like makes a good review. You know, thousands of people are gonna buy it. Nintendo don't give a shit.
Nintendo don't want to lose money. That's what I've noticed. Sony will lose money on risks, and even Microsoft will lose money on risk. But Nintendo refuse to lose money. They'll produce a few consoles when the console is released. They'll sell it for the consumer want it for, and then they'll create this tiny demand, like they'll be sold out, and then they'll tell people that their consoles are sold out. Everyone's gonna be rushed to get it. Like, I need to get it for my kids for Christmas. I want to get it for these people for sales like that, and they slowly make a profit. And when people are streaming, they don't want streamers to say, look, this game's trash, don't buy it, or Konami's Super Bomberman, boycott Konami's Bomberman. Will hurt Nintendo because they're going to sell it on Nintendo. So they don't want people saying that, look, fuck Konami. Yeah, exactly, fuck Konami. And they don't want that. So they're so scared of losing money because they understand the word of mouth. Because you know why they understand the word of mouth? I remember a scandal about 15 years ago that Nintendo were paying little kids to go and sell, like convince their friends to go out and buy Nintendo games. So Nintendo was giving the kids Nintendo DSs. They were going out into the playground and they're saying they were trying to pressure their friends into buying it, making it look like the cool thing. And you can find those articles online.
Isn't that fucking illegal?
It is illegal, and they got called up for it. I remember that. Yeah, they got called up for that.
That's child labor. That's fucking illegal.
Yeah, I know. And kids would get subsidized or prizes and gifts and that kind of thing. It's like Avon ladies going around selling perfumes to door kind of thing going on. But I agree.
The reason that is why the Wii U only sold 12 million. I mean, the two like restrictive, man, in their flipping bubble. I hate it, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. You gotta call bullshit.
And the weird thing is, I mean, they've adopted two things. Like, they'll pick and choose what they want to evolve in. So they decided, we're going to do DLC like everyone else is doing. We're going to get people to pay for online. They'll take those, but they won't give you voice chat. They won't give you, proper voice chat on the console. They won't give you certain things with streaming. They won't let you stream from the console.
And the funny thing is this, I mean, we're asking for voice chat, something. The Xbox, the ugly ass Xbox, the fat one. I mean, I'm sure that had it. You get me?
Yeah.
We're not asking for something very
that was the first.
Asking for alien technology. We're asking for something basic voice chat. They don't do that shit, man.
Yeah. Exactly. This is that joke that Nintendo are still in 2004. Like, they'll do things. Their games are sublime. They're exclusive sublime. Mario sublime. Zelda sublime. Donkey Kong amazing. But they'll always be step back on. There'll always be a step back in other things, man. I feel as though.
No, sorry, carry on, Makenshi.
You go. You want to say? It's your show, man. It's your show, man.
It's like Fast RMX. It's a game. You give me a racing game, and I got a message on my PS4 from the guy. He goes, "Come man, let's play Fast RMX together." I go say to him, "Let's play." So I jump on it, and there was no invites. I mean, I can't invite him. And then he messaged me saying, if we both search for a game together at the same time, maybe we'll join each other's lobby. I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, like,
that's so complicated, man. That's more complicated than Dark Souls summoning friends to play, man. That's like even more complicated. They think it's like Dark Souls.
We're not gonna be in the same lobby. He goes, try it. I go, I'm not dumb, man. I go, if we're the only two people playing in the world, we will, but we're not.
Yeah.
Crazy
Yeah,
shit.
I mean, we all agree that look, all these companies have their good sides and their bad sides. You know, some more than others. Everyone's entitled to their own mistakes. You know, every company's made their mistakes. And Microsoft made its mistakes at E3 2013. It really fucked that up. Sony with the Pro, Xbox One at the E3. That was a big failure.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. When I saw the announcement, I was just watching that conference like, what the fuck? What is this shit?
You know, I agree. They fired that guy, man, right after. Like literally, that guy got fired. No matter what they say.
When they said that you can't lend a friend a game because when you put the disc on, it'll basically lock it. I was like, fuck you, man. What the hell? Yeah.
And you know what? They've been paying for that. They've been paying for that ever since. They literally been paying for that because they had that one chance to tell people what it was about. And ever since then, they haven't been able to tell people that it's not that anymore. So they've really failed after that. And I totally agree that.
And I laughed when they said, and then they basically tried to do that because saying, oh no, you can lend the game, but you can lend the games, but it can only be for 1 hour. And I'm like, motherfucker, do you know how an hour passes by when you're playing a game? How fast that passes by? I'm like, what?
Exactly. You know what? They're trying to push people. They're trying to push people towards digital.
Sometimes I'll play a game and 5 hours have passed by and I wouldn't have noticed. Like, what the 1 hour?
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
I agree.
I think what the difference is, this Sony listened to the fans, man. You know, Xbox Scorpio, I heard it's going to be $500.
Yeah, well, I don't think that the price. I think it's too early to say what price it's going to be.
No, it ain't going to be less than 500, Makenshi. Come on. Look what's in there.
I think depending on what's in there and if the price is right, I think there's always going to be people speculating on what price is the best price for that. I personally feel if it's like $430 or something, then that's okay for what's in there. If you consider that the Switch came out at 300, actually more than 300 for some people worldwide. Brazil, they pay what, 300% tax and stuff. So like, I'd say that if it's the right price, $430 is maybe okay. I mean, we can give people that opportunity depending on what it is. But we don't know what it is though.
By releasing a console that's $400+. Not everyone.
I wouldn't buy unless there's games on it. Unless I know that within the year there's good games on it, I won't buy that day one. I won't buy at that price.
Would you buy the Scorpio?
Fuck no.
Not at that price. You know, it's a principle as well. I would not pay that much money for something I didn't believe in. And after how Xbox has kind of failed this generation, they have to do a lot for me to buy at that price. They have to do a lot more than one game in the first year for me to do that. So
one game does not justify buying a $400 console. That does not justify it because what happens if that game is crap? What happens then? What happens if that game is bad? What happens if that game is short? What happens if you finish the game, but there's nothing that costs your interest? You basically
not even the Final Fantasy VII remake is worth paying $400 for.
No, Neil, you're right. Especially
$400, man. Let's be real, yo.
No. I agree, but I think there are some people that will impulse buy, which is my issue with the Switch, where I never bought the PlayStation 3 on day one. I never bought the PlayStation 4 on day one. I never bought the Xbox One on day one. So it makes me wonder, like, that's why I judge Nintendo. I don't people always mix me up that I hate them. Like, I love Nintendo. Nintendo was my first love of gaming. They invented what modern gaming is nowadays. So, you know, I love the GameCube. I still think GameCube is one of the best consoles ever made in history. You know, there was a Naruto game, which I think is the best Naruto game I ever played, which was a 4-player on the same screen, 4 people sitting in the room together playing on GameCube controllers, which was the Clash of Ninja series on the GameCube. And we had that Nintendo game where 4 people were on one screen and you're fighting each other on one screen, 4 people in the same room.
You know, so many people say the last great Nintendo console was GameCube. And you know what?
Yeah.
You know, you can't help but believe it to an extent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because
after that, the Wii was too gimmicky. Yeah, Xenoblade, but it wasn't.
Yeah. I think everyone holds GameCube. Yeah. I was hoping that Switch would have been like a renaissance, like a GameCube 2. If they called it the GameCube 2, I would be so happy. Like, it would have shown that Nintendo.
Nintendo like this, we can't compete with Sony, Microsoft, and Power, so we need to attract a different type of base. You know what I mean? That's where they're coming from.
Yeah.
You know, it might work, it might not work, but you know, if the Switch flops, there's guaranteed no new console.
Yeah.
Even though they have enough money, but they will lose the fan base, and there's only as much as we can be disappointed and buy a console.
Yeah,
exactly. No, I agree. You know what? Let's move on. Obviously, I don't know how much time you guys have, but I'm sure Khan, like, you know, you have too much time. Let's talk about.
I'm just waiting for a call, man, to pick up the kids in it, but at the moment, I'm alright, man.
That's cool. Awesome. That's awesome, bro. Thank you for joining me, and Andrew, man. Thank you for joining, man. Today. So look, you know, we've got a Latin American brother in our podcast right now. One Muslim, Andrew's Latin American. You know, you live in America. Trump's in power. We got, you know, more right wing. You're in the Europe, bro. Do you feel it? Do you feel it, you guys, that the world's, you know, slightly more bigoted? Do you feel more uncomfortable in Shizzle? Like, let me know about the politics. What do you think about the world right now? What's pissing you off? Like those hot button issues that's annoying you right now about politics and, you know, America and us in Europe. What do you think, man?
Well,
move towards.
I just
said that I was. Yeah.
I just, if I were to say something, I just think people are, stuff is just way too fucking PC.
Way too.
How do I put into words? I think the best example I could give is lately. I don't know if any of you two know who Anita Sarkeesian is.
I know who she is. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. She constantly bashes video games.
Recently she bashed Breath of the Wild for being a damsel in distress game, you know, because of the whole, you know, Link save Zelda thing. Only the thing is that, Khan, you might know this. I don't know how far you're deep into the story, but a friend told me that you don't even save Zelda. You don't even say Zelda, so it's not a damsel in distress type of scenario because you don't even save her. So it's like, bitch, did you even play the game?
Exactly.
So it's like basically what it pisses me off about the world is people lie, people don't call them out on it, and I just hate how the world is just getting too fucking bitchy. Like, oh, some balls, for God's sakes.
Yeah. And I think people are getting way too triggered nowadays by things whether it's your view on whether it's a game or whether it's a piece of, you know, entertainment like anime or movie and that kind of thing. There's this move towards like it's the sex, like games are sexist. You know, the things you play. These are video games. These are fictional games, man. Like,
Makenshi, I seen that video on this, and I thought when I seen it, it's straight fucked up. You get me? There's two dolls, same dolls. You get me? One's black, one's white. The one that's white is worth more in price. If that's not racist, tell me what is. That's fucked up.
That's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
You get me? They're the same dolls, man. It's not like one talks and one don't talk. They're both same dolls.
Yeah.
And one's worth more.
Exactly.
And I'm just that straight up for racist shit, yo. You know, that's the type of world, though.
I mean, like, but what do you think? What do you think that this contrast where you can insult some people, but you can't insult others? Everyone's always bangs on about, okay, if what you're saying is you can insult Hispanic people and you can say bad shit about friggin' Muslims and black people, and you can say these bad things because your president says it. So that, you know, but then you're not allowed to call out people saying this is sexist, dumb things like, you know, sexist because it doesn't have a female character, this kind of thing. What do you think about this culture where you're allowed to insult some people because it's acceptable to do it, and other people are like men and women, like, you know, saying this is sexist, that is sexist. What do you guys think about that? Like this hypocrisy, man.
I think it's a huge double standard, and I think it just needs to fucking stop because I don't know how a game having, or a movie or a series having a female main character is pandering to social justice warriors, but I don't see how how having a male main protagonist is sexist. I just don't really, I don't see no fucking logic in that. Like how people sometimes will say that Grand Theft Auto 5 is sexist because you kill women, despite the fact you can kill anybody. It's like yes, I mean, like, it's the Wild West, motherfucker. You can kill anyone. Go crazy. You can kill anyone.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like when Star Wars: The Force Awakens came out, people were saying that Rey was put there for the sole purpose of pleasing social justice warriors. And I'm like, what fucking proof do you have that she was put there? Maybe they thought, let's make a new character. How about we make her a female? That was it. What evidence is there to say that it was because of social justice warriors? What the fuck are you getting that shit from?
Don't you think that they might have cast diversely for diversity's sake, for the sake of it, because people always perceived Star Wars to be about this, I'd say, blonde-haired, blue-eyed white knight going to save all the natives in the universe and Jedi and stuff. You feel as though maybe there is a thing lately where they're casting people because they're afraid of what people think. They're afraid of what people are saying about these kind of things. Like Aki, what I'll tell you, bro, is what's been going on lately, which I think it has been happening, is people have been complaining that James Bond isn't a black woman. Like, example, they've been complaining, why can't Doctor Who be a woman? Why can't James Bond be black? Why can't there be a main character in the universe who is ethnic minority? And a lot of these studios are scared to put people off coming to see their things, because these people don't feel represented. So they're casting people specifically in weird sort of roles. So that's what we're really talking about. And that goes for video games. Like, I think what Andrew was saying, like, I don't think it's social justice. I don't think they cast a woman because they feel as though they need to pander to women who feel as though games are sexist, that kind of thing. And actually, that brings me on to, like, I want to tie this in, bro. When you do your reactions or when you do a video, bro, to do with anime, entertainment, just things that entertainment, works of fiction, do you feel scared to say your personal views about politics and things? Do you feel as though you hold back, or do you feel as though you're comfortable saying what you want to say, bro? Like, Aki, like, do you think you feel slight hesitance in saying your personal views on life? What do you feel, bro?
Like when I'm doing live actions, like, I don't think anyone really, if anyone watches the first 2-3 hours videos, I always speak what's on my mind. So do I hold back? No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think so, man. I start
let's just say
whatever on my head while watching, even though it's nothing to do with anime. Like, while watching anime, I will stop and compare something in real life to it, even though it's got nothing to do with it.
My issue is, like, there's a thing in anime, for example. So I know this is going back to anime, it's supposed to be politics, but it relates basically. Like, in anime, there's characters where they're male characters. They're male characters. Their character design is purposely female, and they call them trap characters. And I think, even to an extent, One Piece deals with identity issues and that sort of thing. And then Ivankov, for example, and the island. And I make comments on Bonchan, exactly. And I make a comment sometimes that, man, like, why do this? Like, this is odd, and why do this? What's the reason for this in there? And then some people say, I didn't even go into it. I didn't even go into it with my personal views and that sort of thing. But people say, it's a normal, it's this. They get angry in it because you have a view on things that are happening in the thing. And obviously, One Piece is also very political. In world government, there's injustice, racism.
That's what I think I love about One Piece. It's a story about going against the world government shit, because that's something that you want to do in real life, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Exactly, New World Order and all that shit, man, world government and that kind of thing. But do you feel as though there are some things that you don't feel comfortable saying because the internet is so triggered all the time that you can't say stuff? I feel the way that I can't say my views on certain things because the internet is triggered. Is there anything you ever felt that you held back on? Like, Andrew, even you and your reactions?
I don't know if you're part of the One Piece reaction. When I first seen that Bonchan and I make up, what did I say instantly? I'm like, this is awkward, yo. I mean, like, because obviously, you're a man, you dress as a man. If you're a woman, I mean, I don't take rocket science.
Yeah, exactly. Like people don't understand. Like, we're not trying to make a statement or anything. Like, this is how we were brought up. This is how the world is. There is males and there's freaking female. it's aliens to us. I know, and I know these are
like,
fictional characters. Yeah.
It's like this is how you were raised. This is how you were basically, you know, taught as growing up, and it's not like you're insulting or bashing it. You're just making, you know, you're just making your opinion heard, and the fact that they're getting like agitated about that is pretty pathetic. Like that's their viewpoint. That's just how it is. You don't have to like it. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But you know, one thing I think about One Piece that kind of, and in case it's a spoiler, someone, nah, I forget it. I don't want to mention any deaths or anything, you know what I mean? Just in case.
Yeah. So what I was gonna say is, like, when you kind of see yourself as I've noticed a lot as well, where you think you're a fan of something, but then you're kind of in talking to people who are way more down that hole, way more into it. Like I know we call them weeb. I know this is an insult to some people. Weebs, people who love Japanese culture. They just because they love anime, they love Japan.
Hold on.
They love.
Makenshi, just clarify one thing. Weebu is someone that explain it fully. I don't fully understand it.
You know what, Andrew? You tell him, because I think I might f this up, because the weebu. What do you say weebu is? It's someone who automatically loves everything about Japan, but they know nothing about Japan just because they watch anime. I think.
Okay. This is what a weebu is. This is what a weebu is perceived to be. It's a person who's basically obsessed with Japanese culture to the point where they even act, talk, you know, pretty much in Japanese form in Japanese culture, and basically ignore their own culture and authenticity. That's basically like me saying, okay, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm Latin American, I'm Puerto Rican, and if I was Weeble, I'd be like saying, I'd be like, oh my god, just me saying it is. You'd
be saying Japanese lines and saying.
I'd be like saying, like if you say something weird, I'd be like, nani? Say, konnichiwa. Like dumb shit like that. Like dude, if you're not Japanese, don't say that shit. Like.
Yeah, because I've realized that there are people out there that have no clue. They never traveled. I'll give you an example. The average anime viewer, I'm not saying that everyone's like this, but not everyone's into Japan, where the average person doesn't know about Japan. I'll give you an example, and this is politics related as well. Japan support Trump. They're actually really supportive of Trump. They're really supportive of surveilling minorities in the country. They're actually good friends of Trump. They support them. They're actually sharing policies. You know, similar policies about ban on immigration. You know,
pushing immigration out the window to them.
So, and let's just say you insult, you know, the people automatically seem to have this affinity for Japan just because they like anime. They romanticize it, like, you know. Let's go beyond anime culture. The mangakas, they're romanticized by this view. I used to be like that. I used to be like, I want to go to Japan. It's so awesome. People don't know how expensive it is to live in Japan. People don't know that they've never seen a black dude in Japan. Like, when a black dude goes to Japan, they're like a tourist attraction. People are standing around and taking pictures because they've never seen someone like that. There's inherent things in Japanese culture which people brush aside and think they romanticize Japan. And I feel as though that translates to the fans of anime. So when you say something about an anime, when you say something about Ivankov, a bunch of those characters, or when you say something that goes against, you know, that culture and what's been established in the anime, people get triggered and that sort of thing. Bro, have you ever, before you used to read comments, was there ever anything you said that people, and you didn't realize that it would offend people? Has there ever been something like that?
Wait. Yeah. What was it, man? What was it? There was something, I remember. Then I had to clarify it in another video, say, no, man, I never meant that, but like people, or what was it, man? Oh man, I forgot. It was something that we can.
Was it to do with
channel? They got terminated.
Yeah. You said something that actually offended people.
Yeah, I remember. And everyone took it the next way and upside down and shit.
Oh, was it a woman? Was it to do with the woman? A comment about a woman or something? She was acting a certain way. I think I remember what it was.
A woman.
I forgot though. I think. Let me check the chat. I think someone might know what he said. I thought it was Bong at first, improvised. Okay. Xenophobic is what people don't know.
I remember this one guy on Twitter, yo. It's like at the end of the video.
Yeah.
You know, like I said something, but someone might have heard it, and everyone on Twitter saying, "Now, cons are racist, cons are racist." I'm like, what the fuck did I even say? I'm a racist. What are you about?
Exactly. They would love it when we
Do you hear
yeah. Apparently, someone thought you said the N-word.
Yeah. Then I watched it back. I never.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was like, wait. I was like, what?
Yo, it was spreading can't racist. I'm what the fuck, man. I don't. Color don't make
I
any
agree.
difference to me.
Yeah, it's like, how could anyone think that Khan's racist? How could anyone think that Khan's racist? Bro, the reason I even started watching reactions because you were entertaining to watch. I say this to everyone, and no one, people in the chat will tell you. I could watch you react to paint dry, bro. I could watch you react to paint drying on a wall, bro. And also, bro, when I watch your Parasite reactions, forget footage and subtitles. I will listen to your reactions in MP3 on my. So I will know what happens in the episode for 20 minutes, and I will know where you are just by your voice, bro. That's how I listen to you. How could anyone think that this guy was racist? So I feel as though Andrew, like obviously we have that relationship where you didn't react before, and we were talking about it, and then you started reacting, and you started going. Lately with reaction, how do you feel the community is being with you in terms of your reaction, your views, things you say in your reactions? How's the community been for you, man? As someone who's started very, very recently.
Oh, you started recently?
Overall, it's been very, very positive. I had some stumbles, here and there where people say me, why don't I include some footage or audio so that way people can follow me better, and I always, respectfully reply, look, I can't do that. I don't want to risk my channel because, companies are very strict with that shit. I mean, one of my live reactions to an Naruto Shippuden opening got blocked only because got blocked, and in that video, if you watch the video, there's very little audio in it, so literally it got blocked for just that small piece of audio. So I've been taking the feedback to heart, and I've been trying to find ways to make it easier for them. That's why I got that's why I bought those sunglasses. Not only are they stylish, but also you can see the video through the glasses, and that way YouTube can't fuck with me. So it's like I take the criticisms to heart, and I do the best of what I can with it, and overall it's been good. I have some stumbles here and there, like everyone does, but overall it's been good.
One thing good about you, Andrew, man, you stuck by your guns, man. You never included anything, and you're sticking by that, man. Thing, man. And
you know what? That bear respect to Andrew, because he learned from the mistakes that have been made by not only me but other reactors. We always go through a learning curve, innit, where we learn from things that happen and we adapt and that kind of thing. So, Andrew, did you ever think of there's going to be a time that you might down the line where it will get, comments will get so heated and that kind of thing that you'd ever consider closing your comment section? Do you think it would get that bad? Do you think you can handle that sort
of? A few years ago, I think if I was more younger, I think it really would have gotten to me if I started reacting like many years ago. I think it really would have gotten to me, because of some stuff that has happened, with the con. This was when I first got into the community. I think I was 15 years old. I was 15, and I first got into the community, and it was so cancerous, man, and it really affected me in a way. But as I grew older, I grew more of a backbone. I grew, I basically mastered the ways of telling people to fuck off. And so if they want to come at me, come at me.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be straight, and I'm gonna tell you to go fuck yourself. And you try to fuck with me, I will fuck with you back.
Yeah. You hear me?
Yeah. And I'm what's the worst thing you've ever read that's been said to you in the comment section ever? And did you ever feel the need to swear back? I know you're not that kind of guy, but did someone ever say something really offensive?
I know instantly. Hey, you Muslim bummer.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that. I'm like, what the fuck, yo? Man doing anime live reaction. What the fuck is that gonna be meaning?
Yeah. And have you ever had something that been really offensive to you? That you really a personal attack, someone taking the piss at your race, religion, things you've said on video. Has that ever happened back in the day? Where you?
I think it happened once, and it really hit hard for me because I think this was one of the first times where someone really attacked me, and the reason for why they attacked me is something that really was really something like very fucked up. Basically, I said I thought this Naruto chapter was a lot better than this One Piece chapter 1 week, and that person basically told me to kill myself for saying that.
Oh my God.
And back then, back then, I didn't have backbone, so I didn't say anything. I mean, other people had to basically defend me, you know, because of what that dude said. But back then, I didn't have backbone. I didn't respond. I didn't swear or anything. And I was a very shy kid. But now, if you say that to me, I would tell you to give me your address because I'm gonna kick your fucking ass.
You know, Makenshi, you know, if you look at the comments and you see continuous saying, you do stop and think for a moment, hold on, what the flip, you know, is this really worth it? Why is so many people, you know, you might not say you don't get here, but you know, after at time, like if there's non-stop, it does play to your head, you know.
Yeah.
To an extent, man.
It does get to your head, man. Like people in the chat will tell you that, you know, when I have my private group or on Twitter, I'll always run to those guys and complain that, look, man, I don't like this, man. I don't like this. And you know what? Believe it or not, like we don't do this to annoy people, man. Like we don't react and say things to annoy people. We're just reacting, man. And when someone says something hurtful and you never intended to insult them, it's just your view, it affects you, man. Like when people perceive what you're trying to say and that kind of thing. So actually, you know, right now, I'm going to go to the chat right now, the live chat. I want to ask these guys if there's anything they want us to talk about.
Let's talk about classic wrestling matches, man.
Wrestling match. Oh yeah, classic. You know what? Actually, you I'm a classic WWE fan. Like I haven't been into wrestling for ages, but I was back in the day with Ric Flair, Kane, you know, Undertaker were still brothers. You know, the Hardy Boys, all that shit. Cage Man. So what do you think of? Do you know, I have this debate with Daniel and Charlie in the chat about how wrestling is now and how it was before. I look at these wrestlers now, and there's nothing about them that kind of jumps out at me. You know, wrestling was more theatrical back then. It was way more theatrical. People were dressed up. You had luchadors. You know, you had Rey Mysterio Jr., Kidman. You had you know,
and they had Hell in a Cell matches where the Hell in a Cell was used.
Hell in a Cell was used. Ladder matches, table TLC matches were like the main thing. You had nails. You had Triple H friggin' pedigreeing people through tables onto nails and shit. Like
pins, remember? With pins, yo.
The fucking thumbtacks.
Yeah. I remember back when. I remember back when, you know, everyone thinks that The Rock's always been a good guy. I remember when The Rock was a bad guy, like a heel, basically.
Oh, back when he was in Domination. Remember that?
Yeah,
Nation of
Domination.
Yeah, I remember back when he was a heel, man. And those are the days. And those I don't know, Aki, if you watched a match where someone nicked Undertaker's teddy bear, childhood teddy bear, and there was like a fire around the ring, and it was basically Undertaker versus.
Yeah.
That was that. There was
Who remembers this when Kane's first ever appeared? When Undertaker's fight killed Michael McCain.
And he tombstoned the fucking Undertaker.
Kane kicks the cage.
Yeah.
Your best move.
Is it me, or are people not allowed? Are there some moves that people aren't allowed to do now?
The pile driver is basically banned. The only person who can use it is the Undertaker because he's the fucking Undertaker. And basically, there's the curb stomp that Seth Rollins used. It's you can't use that because apparently he used it on Brock and Brock oversold it and got a bump. He didn't even get a concussion. He just oversold it, and they basically were like, no, don't ever use that. And it's a little crap. And there's some other moves that are banned, but I personally am not a fan of people banning moves because I just believe, like, look, if you use a move, that means you're a professional. You use it because that's a move you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
When you're in a match, you're putting your life on your opponent's hand. You know, you trust him that that he'll take care of you. You'll take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is. If you get hurt because of a move, that's not his fault. It was just a fuck up. That's all it is. Like for example, with Owen Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin in SummerSlam. You know, when he dropped him on his head and it fucked up his neck. That wasn't Owen Hart, you know, trying to hurt Steve Austin. He just fucked up. He just fucked up. He put him down too low, where his head hit the mat. That's all it was.
You know, one thing I can't say about with some wrestling fans, when they say wrestling is fake. There's a difference between scripted and fake. You feel me, dude? So you don't.
Sorry, say that again. What?
There's a difference between scripted and fake. Fake wrestlers, they do get hurt. I'm like, some wrestlers ended their career by getting hurt.
Yeah, they do get hurt.
It's like with people I watch wrestling. Oh man, you know it's fake. Why is that the first shit you say?
it's like.
I mean, look how much Mick Foley used to get hurt. Mankind, back when he was Mankind, Mick Foley, he used to get fucking hurt every friggin' match. He had some bloody matches back in the day, man.
I swear to God, each of his matches needed to have a fucking table for him to go through with it. I think that was in part of his contract.
Exactly.
God damn, he always would go through it. I thought it was honest. I would swear that in his contract, it would always say each match he has to go through a chair. He has to go through a table.
You guys remember the word?
Do you guys remember
Mankind? He came in as Mankind, Cactus Jack, Dude Love.
Yeah.
Dude Love.
He got kicked out all 3 times.
Do you guys remember the tribute match that Bret Hart and Benoit did after Owen Hart passed away?
Oh yeah, in WCW.
Yeah, that was so beautiful, man. For me, that's one of the most emotionally resonant matches, and obviously, especially what went on to happen to Benoit, man, and that kind of thing. And it's kind of, and you know, these wrestlers in real life are really nice guys. You know, they act like pricks, like when they're heels, but in real life, they're actually smart guys. They're really down to earth family men. And you know they're really good guys. You
heard what Bret Hart said about Owen Hart today. He goes, he knows Owen Hart. Owen Hart is that type of person that would have stopped last moment coming down in an entrance like that. But he goes, Vince McMahon is that type of person also, which will have, you know, edged Owen Hart to do it. That was kind of deep, you know, when I heard that.
Yeah.
And that kind of made me feel bad, man. Like that could have been prevented, man.
Yeah. Who have your favorite wrestlers been in the last?
What?
Yeah, I know. I can kind of guess who Khan's favorite wrestler might be. Bret Hart. I love Bret Hart. My favorite wrestler of all time has been Bret Hart. But who are your favorite wrestlers? Who have been your favorite wrestlers over time?
That's fucking easy. You can pull a gun to my head, and I'll always say my favorite wrestler of all time is the Showstopper, Shawn Michaels.
You betrayer, yo.
I always liked I love Kane. Since I was a child, I loved Kane. Even through his many transformations. Bret Hart, I loved. I've loved the Hardy Boys. I don't know why. I love the boys, and obviously the news you had recently. One of the Hardy Boys is coming back to WWE. I've been out of WWE for a while, but I could actually get back into it if we get to see the Hardy brothers or something come back, because I read that article recently.
I would say as if the Hardy Boys do come back, just know that they're not going to be the same Hardys that you remember. They're a bit different because you know, lately when they're in the indies, they basically like revamp their character into something different. They're basically called now. Matt now goes by Broken Matt Hardy, and Jeff now goes by Broken Nero. So if they do come back, just know it's not going to be the same Hardy Boys. It's going to be a completely new, different thing. But I think you can get it.
We're not going to see the high-flying table ladders and all that stuff. What you think it's going to be?
No, but I still think, even though it's grounded, it's still tremendously entertaining. I still think you're going to love it.
What about WCW?
Yeah. Oh man, I love WWE more. I loved it more than WWE back in the day.
New World Order.
New World Order. You remember that, yeah?
Wrestling, man. I mean, you know, WCW days. Makenshi, you know, Cartoon Network. Was it Cartoon Network? Wait. After 9 o'clock, you used to turn out wrestling used to come on. Makenshi, do you remember? You live in the UK. You should know. Where did you watch WCW?
Yeah, I used to come on terrestrial TV
TNT.
as well as Sky and stuff. Yeah, TNT. No, TNT was.
It was.
Yeah, I think that was after. But WCW, I remember they used to hold kind of. I used to watch them mainly for the kind of light to middleweight kind of matches, where there was like people flying around.
You know the thing with WCW, man. It's like after the Wolfpack and NWO era, it went downhill, and like it's a shame.
Yeah,
man. At that moment, it was beating.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it was, and I found their matches more entertaining because there was a more theatrical, it was more thrill-seeking and stuff. I was never a fan of the really heavy, cumbering kind of one matches where they're doing fireman's carries and Kurt Angle. I actually used to like Kurt Angle a lot, man. Kurt Angle was like the Olympian, isn't it? Yeah, Kurt Angle was a joke. Like I loved watching him. And
it's
even
true.
back,
it's true. It's damn true.
Farouk and Bradshaw, Perry Saturn, Dean Malenko in WCW.
Dean Malenko,
Dean Malenko, you know, yeah.
Remember Mr. Perfect?
He's classic.
It's a perfect Kurt Hennig.
I loved luchadors and technical wrestlers, the ones that do the locks and the sharpshooters and all the. I love technical wrestlers and high flying wrestlers, all that stuff. Those are the days, man.
Remember Big Papa Pump?
Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner.
Legend.
Scott Steiner. Yeah, Big Papa Goldberg. Goldberg had his heyday back in the day, man. Goldberg was like.
You heard what Goldberg said in an interview about why he left wrestling? It was interesting, you know, because he was like, I'm in a sport, like entertainment business where it's not much about, men fighting anymore. It's about women, and you guys should see it, man. I'm sure Andrew's seen it already.
Yeah, divas. Yeah, the divas and stuff.
Yeah, it's very much like it's no place for a man to be.
Yeah, he says something about that his father taught him, to be a certain man, and that, the way the business was going was something that went against his ideology. And he said that, and he said that, well, since I was an inspiration to kids, I felt staying in that, in that environment would make me a hypocrite, and so he left.
That's deep, That's some powerful shit, man. That's why he left. And you know why?
Wrestling.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, carry on. My bad, bro.
No, what I'm saying is, I think the whole thing with wrestling now, it's gone on to be kingmakers. Like they're making celebrities out. Like when The Rock became a celebrity, a Hollywood star. Now look at Batista is going on to be a Hollywood star. What's his name? Friggin' who's the guy? You can't see. Who's
John Cena? John Cena,
yeah, he's also been a film star. They basically the big faces are going on to be this. It's like a factory.
Batista.
Batista. Yeah, they're going on to become Hollywood celebs. It's not the glamour of it now, and there always was the glamour, but there always was the heart about the kids looked up to a role model like Bret Hart. People looked up to these people back in the day who were like real role models, and they really looked like they were dedicated to the sport. Now, I don't know, man. Like I see pictures of wrestling nowadays, and it something doesn't speak to me. I'm not dissing that at all. It's just like I said about Nintendo. It's not the days that I used to watch, wrestling.
No, look before. Look how hard it was to become champion. Look at Bret Hart, only 5 times world champion. Look how good wrestler he was. Yeah. Now look, John Cena, how many times? 15, 14,
16.
What the fuck, 16? I thought it was 14. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
16. He tied Ric Flair's record.
No way.
And it's unpredictable. The title fights.
How hard it was. Remember Bob Backlund?
Yeah. Bob Backlund. Yeah.
He was champion for how long? A year was it? And
a year.
He used to defend it all the time. And nowadays, wrestling went downhill big time, man.
Yeah, basically,
it did go. And Attitude Era went.
Basically, back then, when you won a title, it meant something because that meant you were the guy, you were the man, you were the. Now, basically everyone wins it, and the title doesn't mean as much as it used to.
You had to give it like if it's a sweet. Here, man, take it, man. Okay, I'll have it.
Sweet, yeah, exactly. I mean, they desperately,
man.
Yeah. No, they're desperately trying to keep it fresh. After Attitude Era, and then obviously we went to PG thing. They really desperately tried to change up the formula, and obviously they did things like bring The Rock back as well, didn't they? As guest referee sometimes, and they really tried to bring people back into watching it. But I feel as though it's never going to be the kind of WWE I remember. It certainly is not going to be like that. The risks and that kind of thing.
And one thing with WWE that I'm so disappointed with, man. Some might agree, some might not. Is when Sting came back. He came back to lose to Triple H.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous, man. This is one man that was like anti-WWE, man. He was like WWE Pro, TNA Pro.
Yeah.
So when he came, they should have treated my man better. And Triple H is like, I'm going to come to anyway. So he was only going to make himself win. He ain't going to make an anti-hero basically come to his company and beat him. And now he left. He don't get no Undertaker match or anything. A match that we dreamed of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I know, Chris Jericho is the only guy that's really made a successful transition from the old guard to the new. I mean, I can't really think of any other OG
Chris Jericho is the guy who's pretty much every time he reinvents himself, it's always gold. From when he was when he first came in to when he had that heel run where he wore the suits and he was very very menacing to now where he where he has you just made the list. Like Chris Jericho's awesome, man. Chris Jericho for the win.
Yeah. Every time he comes to World Rumble, it's funny. The last World Rumble was so shit, yo. You watched it,
Wait, what? What'd you say?
The last World Rumble.
The what?
The last Royal Rumble, how shit it was.
The last Royal Rumble.
Don't remind me. Don't fucking. Khan, don't you remind me about that fuckery.
Who won that Royal Rumble? I'm not into it. Who?
Randy Orton. But it wasn't
Randy Orton.
It wasn't the fact that Randy won. I was happy as fuck when Randy Orton won. It was the fact that Roman Reigns came in at number 30 when he already had a match at the card. I was like, what the fuck?
And Royal Rumble. There's meant to be surprises, like elements, man.
Exactly. Like number 30, I was.
Or someone.
Exactly. Number 30, I actually thought Kurt Angle was gonna come out. I was gonna hear the music, and then it's Roman fucking Reigns. I almost threw my television screen to the floor.
Also the storylines as well in WWE used to be so much more elaborate, so much more well thought out. The stories, like they have writers who write stories for these wrestlers, and they collaborate with these people to write their particular arcs throughout a season. And I feel as though the stories now are just not as compared. Like from what I've heard, no one talks about the stories now. You get what I'm saying? Like
Canada versus America. I mean, that shit almost went to civil war, yo. I mean, that's how they made it out.
Yeah.
How sick it was.
Yeah. Do you guys remember when Rikishi ran over?
Dude, I'm sure Michael go to Canada. Yeah. He gets disrespected. I mean, that was sick, yo.
Yeah.
Now look.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Rikishi ran over
Stone Cold? Yeah.
Yeah.
I did it for the Rock.
Yeah, that storyline.
I did it.
Yeah, I did it for the Rock. Yeah, those stories were amazing. The whole beef between the Mankind was this underdog and fucking Triple H. They had that beef. They had that really bloody match they had in Hell in a Cell, which was just Mankind getting more. Socko came out. Exactly, man. Those are the days we don't got that. As much as I don't know if Daniel's in the chat, but as much as he says that modern wrestling is good, I don't deny it. I'm not a fan of it, but you can't replace those classic days, man. Like those classic days.
Are you guys sorry? I need to make one call.
Do you need to go, bro?
Wait, I need to make one call. You to carry it on. Okay. 1 sec.
Okay. I'm gonna go to the chat now, and I'm gonna ask you guys: is there anything you want us to talk about? I'll use this opportunity in it. You guys, anything you wanna bring up? You want us to talk about that you're curious about?
Sure. Yes, I'm right. Yeah, I'm just on the online.
I told you this is Evergreen Podcast. Have you read the title, Anima QQQ? This wasn't just going to be about gaming.
Oh, no, it's about. Okay, I'll take you in about 15 minutes.
Khan's not played Neo Automata.
Take about 10 minutes, yeah.
I don't think Andrew has either, but me and Andrew have played Horizon, the legendary phone call. Talk about JoJo. TV shows, dudes. Okay, well, not TV shows, JoJo. Bro, like you had really bad experiences with people either sporting One Piece out in Subway or they've, approached you and go, you made a mistake doing One Piece and do JoJo instead. Has that, bro, like on a level, has that put you off watching these shows, or did you try and cancel out what these people have said and try and think of shows like JoJo on their own?
Are you about that guy that said One Piece is shit, start JoJo?
No, he's not here. I'm just saying, like, someone wanted. I'm trying to segue into that conversation about JoJo because obviously you had.
You're talking to me or something. I got confused. My bad.
Yeah, no, sorry, bro. I'm asking you, Aki. So has that put you off? Does it put you off when you have experiences like that about people saying that kind of things outside, like subconsciously when someone says, "Oh, you made a mistake doing One Piece"? do JoJo instead? Does that subconsciously?
You remember when that guy came up to me and he said that JoJo is better than One Piece? You done mistakes on One Piece. You know, at the moment then One Piece wasn't going as, let's say, epic. Now if someone were meant to mention that, I just laugh because I know how epic it's going. But I guess
I mean, I know Charlie
anime is at the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I understand, man. I obviously got a lot on your plate to do JoJo, but inshallah, apart from FMAB, let's just stick to FMAB. That's a safe bet. But inshallah, down the line, man, like if you get the chance, you can do JoJo and that kind of thing. I'm asking the chat basically right now if they want us to talk about stuff. Please ask about stuff that we've seen. Carl knows about Attack on Titan and Boku no Hero, right? Yeah, he knows. I
can't have to go in like 2 minutes. You know, I need to pick up.
Bro, if you're hard for time, bro, we can end it. But if you got time, we can continue talking and take feedback from the chat to talk about things. Yo, people, and there's like 52 a year. Is there anything you want to talk about?
Makenshi, just a last question. What's that kind of Star Trek type of anime about, man?
Okay. All right, you asked me. I didn't bring this up, which is good. Legends of Galactic Heroes, bro. I've been watching it, and I've never been someone that has been into sci-fi anime. I've been into sci-fi. Like, you look at it, you think it's Star Trek, wannabe, it's space, it's this, that. Bro, don't think of it like that. Think of it like, the best way I can say is, you know how you thought Code Geass was about mechs, but it really wasn't about mechs. It was this weird power shift, struggle, that kind of thing. Think of it that way. There's these two characters. One represents, I guess you could talk about the West, like democracy. And there's another dude that's kind of like this king, emperor type figure. They're both really great leaders, but they both have big differences with each other. And you get to see them clash between the two. You admire both of these guys. Think about two leaders that believe in different things, and they so fundamentally different. And there's wars in space, that's the battle, but there's not much of it. It's about characters, it's about, I can't describe it, bro. Story, it's got feels. Lately, I've cried like 6 or 7 times, bro, towards the end of the series. I'm nearly finished with it. And it's my #1 anime, bro. And I know everyone's got different tastes. Everyone does it, but for me, bro, it's better than FMAB.
No way.
Yeah, it's better than FMAB. And that was hard, bro. FMAB moved from #2 in my list to like #3 or 4. It's so good. I think if you give it time.
How many episodes are there?
It's 110 episodes is the series, and that's it. Contained series, 110 episodes. It's really good. I would say do after FMAB. Do after FMAB. I don't want to push my luck in it, throwing animes at you to do. But I think if you can watch FMAB and you'll really enjoy it, and it's not like LOTGH. I'm not recommending them because they're both the same. I think FMAB is made for you.
When I look at it, I think of Star Trek.
Yeah. So, bro, I don't want to overload you, like one at a time, because I know you're pressed for time. But Legends of Galactic Heroes, it's called Gingei Densetsu in Japanese.
Nice.
I think you'll love it.
He even says it in our group. He goes, "This one is a classic. Like, it's amazing."
It is a classic. Yeah, I think of it like you've seen classic animes, and you don't mind going back further, like Ashita no Joe. You're talking about starting.
About me, because I don't really care about the art animation, so it's an anime that I definitely will look at because I'm not too bothered about how we.
Yeah, definitely look at it. Yeah, but for now, I didn't want to push my luck in it. Once I got you to speak about FMAB, I don't want to push my luck because I know it can be annoying, man. You kind of feel bad. I feel bad when someone recommends anime to me and I can't do it straight away. I literally only was. Yeah.
Like I said, once I finish the arc in One Piece, I'm not gonna do One Piece for a while. I'm gonna finish Haikyuu, finish Hakusho, then start Brotherhood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the plan.
Yeah, that's awesome, brother. That's awesome, bro. And I think you'll love it. And I think even Andrew will agree. I know Berserk's come up a lot. I think for you, Berserk should be something you do. You build up to Berserk, something like Berserk. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't like Berserk. I love Berserk, the original 24-episode series. And I fucking love that show. I think, Khan, that would be awesome for you. But I feel as though because of the nature of the content, you should build up to that. Because obviously people have told you things about Berserk, bro, innit? And Andrew's a huge fan. He'll tell you great things about Berserk.
I actually like, for all the years that I've known Khan, it was a series I never recommended Khan because I know what Khan, feels. I don't want to say I know Khan, but I know stuff that makes him comfortable. And Berserk basically, it's basically that over 1,000. It's basically like it's a series I wouldn't recommend you if stuff like that really bothers you, because it's like that's really one of the main themes about the series.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
so, I mean,
the Facebook group is not just, it's about reality basically. There's a difference from watching something dodgy that shows dodginess,
Yeah.
but something that is like reality, like Rainbow, for example. Reality is different.
Yeah.
I mean, you got where I'm coming from.
Reality, yeah, I understand what you mean. It's more grounded, so you can understand in that scenario why that would happen.
Yeah. Of mankind than showing two like what dodginess, hentai and shit. You know what I mean? There's a difference between.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
because it is very fantastical and heightened. I understand what you mean, but I would recommend that, bro. Like after FMAB and whatever other animes people recommend, if it's something that you don't mind looking into, it's something I think you'll enjoy. I think you'll enjoy that, but I think it's something that needs to be gradually kind of built up to in a way, not suddenly go into it. And if you get put off by it, then people might have an issue with it, and I don't want that to happen.
I was actually thinking of watching it on my own, the first 3 episodes, and thinking what to make.
Actually, that would be a good idea. That would be a good idea if you were to check it by yourself.
That's actually a good idea, because the first 3 episodes kind of gives you a full, a taste of what Berserk is, and and from there on you can decide. Really, it's all on you. But if my personal opinion, it's something I really wouldn't recommend you. If you can get into it, if you can overlook some stuff, then I think you'll really enjoy it.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about. Well, guys, man, it was a good chat, though. We need to do this more often, man.
Oh, yeah.
No, bro, but people said to me, and you weren't here, Andrew, when I said this to Khan, like, it was criminal for me not to, arrange this with Khan. I could have done it. Me and him are always back and forth, we're always talking, and I wanted to bring Khan on, but obviously Khan is very, he's got a lot on his plate, being a father. I don't know what that feels like, being a father to 2 daughters. So I imagine, like, and obviously One Piece, and I acknowledge that One Piece is a very responsibility for Khan to do, because he does so many reactions. So it'd be hard to get time. But bro, Keith, I'm so glad you came on, bro. You're like a bro to me. And Andrew, bro, you are like a G. And I thought of you when I thought about this podcast to bring you on, because I know you're a true Nakamite, and you share this kind of love for the East and West that we love, and brother around brother, man. So
now I would have told you before about this, but literally it never hit my head to ever do this. So literally, when someone mentioned it in the Facebook group, I'm like, oh yeah, why don't we do it?
And also I want to tell the chat that we're hopefully going to do more of these.
Definitely, once
hopefully
even 2 weeks or so we'll do it, man.
Yeah,
by the way,
inshallah, man, we'll definitely do it.
By the way, Moin, boy, if you ever plan a podcast for the weekend, I probably won't be able to do, because after Thursday, I'm going to be a bit of an emotional wreck, and I'm going to need time to compose myself a little.
The last episode.
No, absolutely.
The last episode, I need
absolutely.
time to mourn, pass the time, remember the good times, and then get ready for that Boruto.
Yo.
You got a really good season coming up now of animes to do, and I don't know, Andrew, if he mentioned it or you picked up on it about him stopping on after the end of Marineford, and then looking forward to the next season with Boruto, Attack on Titan, that kind of thing. Were you aware of that?
Yeah,
I think I mentioned it.
Yeah. Khan said that in his update video.
Yeah, and I hope people picked up on that, because I know Khan, and I totally agree. Khan needs the room to do those animes.
All I know is that the One Piece stars are going to be pissed about that.
Nah,
they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. Khan's being so generous to them. I'm gonna give my opinion here just before we wrap up. I'm gonna be here.
Exactly.
Khan's being. Yeah.
I mean,
sorry, you go on. I know you're gonna say. Yeah, go ahead.
Khan will give these guys 7 episodes, 5 episodes, almost 10 episodes, and it's like Khan is giving you so much content, and then when the next day comes, he does something different. You're like, do more One Piece. I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, did you even finish the?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, did you even finish the previous reaction? Because I call bullshit if you did.
Yeah,
trust me.
I mean, is 10 episodes not enough?
Only One Piece. When my channel grew up on Naruto and it went forward because I told you Gula Parasite, And you know, but people don't see that.
Yeah.
I don't say anything because I don't bother
Yeah.
with comments, but it's what it is, man.
I mean, I wouldn't even go to the point where where you
I mean, I would kill for Khan to to finish Hakusho, but I understand, he has a family, he has to take care of that.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's his channel. He does what he pleases, and and me as a subscriber, I have to respect that, and it's his choice. I can't force him.
No, respect, man.
But
I mean, I want to say to all the chat here, yeah.
But Khan, do the Hakusho. We'll do the Hakusho. I'll give you the switch in music, just so you know.
I don't know Hakusho fans. I mean, very patient. Yeah. I think more than anyone, the Hakusho crowd, have been very, very patient. Yeah. Which, you know, people, the One Piece crowd could learn from the Hakusho crowd, because Hakusho guys have been very patient. But when you do bring out 10 episodes of One Piece, sometimes that's not enough. They need to, damn, the Hakusho crowd are so patient, man.
Now, like
so patient.
Once this arc finishes, there will be a stop on One Piece, and everything else will be jumping on. Then I'll continue it. But you guys, I gotta go, dude. Yeah. I think the chat. It was awesome, man, Andrew, man, and Makenshi.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, bro.
Yeah,
I'll let you know when we do it in the future. And Andrew, I'm trying to make it so that I can fit you in for next time if we do this again.
All right.
Yeah,
cool.
Definitely, bro. So yeah, from
Take
all of
care,
us, man, like
Makenshi, man. Good night,
take
guys.
care, peeps.
Everyone in the chat, thanks.
And all you guys in the chat, man, take care, peeps.
One
Thank
love,
you, peeps.
Peace out.
Yes.
Peace and love, man. One love. Peace.